dawns to fill the void. An unfamiliar path with a pulse of its own.
3, 2, 1.
Final Encountercast.
Some kind of witty slogan or tagline
That would go here with your hosts, Nate, Robbie, Chris, Nika, and Kali. FinalEncountercast.com.
Ready? Get set? Go!
Welcome to the Final Encountercast.
Final Encountercast. This is the only one.
The brand new episode from the creators of Limit Break Radio, and of course brought to you by the generous support of our patrons over at patreon.com/limitbreakradio. Got a whole new name, got a whole new style.
Same assholes.
And yeah.
There's your witty tagline.
Same dicks. There we go, yeah.
The same assholes.
The same assholes. So, hey, how's it going? We are the crew of a podcast for Final Fantasy XIV called Limit Break Radio, and we are venturing into expanding into new discussions surrounding video games. We figure that everyone...
New territory for us.
Yeah, it's a little bit of new territory for us.
Wait, I was told this podcast was about books.
Get out.
Shut up.
Get out. This is why you have the bad camera, just so you know.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why you have the bad camera.
I feel like I'm in the bad spot. You should put him over here so he's like in the background being blocked by everything.
I thought you liked that spot. You want to switch?
Well, not when I'm on camera.
I used to sit there and you gave crap over it when I was next to me.
I got all dressed up and everything. You guys just
look at you.
Yeah, your shirt and tie are still showing just fine.
Well,
this is okay. So if this is your first time, well, of course this is your first time joining us because
maybe they're from the future.
Maybe they are. I don't know. Yes, this is our very first episode. We're doing the show with cameras. It's throwing me off already. I can't stop paying attention to myself on camera. It's really weird.
I'll bet you can't. I'm not shocked at all that you cannot stop looking at yourself on camera.
It's really weird.
Imagine if he was actually good looking.
Oh, you're so funny.
Apparently, everyone has the theory that I'm actually in Silent Hill right now, and that's why my camera looks this way.
Oh, really?
That's the theory.
I can roll with that.
Yeah, we'll roll with that.
No, we're getting a new one next week.
Maybe we'll see.
I'll be in Silent Hill for this week, but
we decided that there is no one unifying world tying us together like it does on Limit Break Radio, because that show is about Final Fantasy XIV, and so we are going to use cameras on this show. And so, hi, how you doing? It's taken it. So we had a little bit of a hiccup here,
a little snafu,
a little snag, if you will, that caught us up before the show, and that was because we're not used to running cameras. Like that's part of what the problem is. So there's a bit of a learning curve here.
I think it just needs to be said that
you suck at everything.
That is true.
Okay.
I apologize. It was my fault that the stream had to go down.
And guys, he did not freak out at all. He was very level-headed about the whole thing. We were all very proud of him.
There was no flashlights and old microphones thrown at us. There's not a hole in the wall now, so we're fine.
All those things have happened before, by the way. Just not, there's cameras now, so now I got to keep a smiley,
now
happy
that there's
face.
Evidence, he's going to be the nicest guy you've ever known.
Oh, no. I'm still totally a dick.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
And now we have jokes like this where that whole time I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, you can see him noping now, I guess. A lot of gaming talk shows, they've got a camera on each person. Three of us are all in the same room. Kali, why don't you wave on Christoph's camera right there? Wave in the background. You can kind of see. Scoot over. There we go.
Where are you?
What are you doing?
Christoph, which way are you going?
There.
Flip
you're
off
so
Kali's
bad.
camera.
You're so bad.
Just flip off Kali's camera. Do that.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. That's lovely. That's
we
nice.
go. Yeah.
Finger his camera.
So
don't finger my camera.
We have a bit. we have a bit of a unique issue to work around where, you know, with the other show that we do, we don't use cameras, so it's not an issue where we have to figure out like how do we. I realize first of all that the lighting sucks. I realize that Kali's camera is terrible, and we're gonna work on fixing these things.
Work in progress.
Yes, but we set this date. We set the goal to launch the show in June, and I'm really excited. I'm really proud of us that
That's
we were
right.
able
Just
to
made
meet
It's
that.
the final encounter. It is not the final product.
Yes, that's right. That's right. This
Where were
is,
suggestions like that when we were coming up for a tagline?
yeah, right. Instead, I had to.
Instead, I get.
What's some kind of slogan or tagline goes here? Yeah, obviously,
I like that one, to be honest.
obviously, the intro is subject to change. A lot of things subject to change.
Although you do need to change my name. I want to be referred to as Christoph.
right? Yes, I know.
Christoph said
von
Heinrich.
Baden. Yeah, Sir Heinrich.
Okay.
What?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want us? Do you want us to use your full entire name?
Every time you refer to me.
Christoph Eduardo Gustavo III Esquire.
Yes,
I will never ever call you that.
Do I have to fit that on your title card too?
you do.
It's not happening.
And I want it to have like rainbowy, glowy letters.
It
that
does.
flash.
You know what? In my
want-
defense, it does say fucking Christoph on your
Well,
title
thank
card.
you.
I cannot believe you went with that.
It actually just says Christoph,
That's what I said, Christoph.
not fucking Christoph.
Oh, fucking.
Ah.
Boo. Boo.
Phrasing!
Would you prefer a dick joke?
That's what we're good at, by the way. So, we're trying something new. This is very much foreign to us, and a whole new show, whole new format. So, what we're going to try not to do is we're going to try not to have a whole lot of like carryovers and jokes and stuff from from the old Limit Break Radio. We want the two shows to be their own thing. And so we're hopefully going to be coming up with new running inside jokes that, people in 15 episodes will go, I don't get it. I don't understand the joke. Well, you can go back and listen. You'll get it.
So now we're gonna have to like separate inside jokes between two different shows.
Yes, that's true.
Wow,
I feel like this
great.
is going to get complicated at some point, I feel.
For 10 episodes, they'd be like, we're going to have to have post or pre-show meetings. Like, all right, did we make that joke on Final Encounter or Limit Break Radio?
Or you guys can just get good.
Or
That's a Limit Break Radio joke. I will not have that on my Final Encounter cast.
Hey, you
That's
douchebag.
all game.
And until you said something, nobody would have known the difference.
Yes, they would have.
That is how you do inside jokes, guys.
Oh, goodness.
we are here to talk about video games. And, we figured that most of our audience probably plays video games, considering that we do a show about Final Fantasy XIV, right? Like, that seems pretty obvious.
It's a bold assumption, but probably.
I know, right? Well, when I decided to launch a show about, smoking weed and politics, like I didn't understand why nobody from our audience wanted to listen to that. And so
It was
that's
probably
why,
the politics.
It was could have been a lot of different things. So we figure that everyone cares about video games. So let's talk about video games. But before we talk about anything current, before we get into any of that, the start of every show, we're going to want to talk about the latest news of what's, what's going on in the video game industry. But before we do that, like that will normally be at the top of every show. I feel like we need to introduce ourselves
A
as
meet
people.
and greet.
Yeah, because some
name
real
game.
people, believe it or not.
Yeah, we are real people. People have just known us as voices for a while, or as streamers. But we have an opportunity to introduce ourselves to an entirely new audience here. And so, why don't we take that opportunity to explain who we are, what kind of gamers we are, and what exactly we bring to the table here at this show.
Gosh.
When does the comedy start?
and make it funny.
There you go.
All right. Well, then, Mr. Christoph Eduardo Gustavo III Esquire.
Yes.
My
that's
God,
me.
how do you remember that?
That was very good.
Why? Hey, I'm pretty good at this. Sometimes.
He's sitting here like, that's my cousin's name.
Tell us a little bit. It was an inside joke that I came up with years ago. It was a made-up child I had chained in my basement that I would go downstairs every 3 days and feed by throwing cornflakes at him. So if you really want to know the origins of that joke, there's the origin.
I don't get it.
Christoph, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am Christoph, and I am probably the least qualified to go on a gaming show.
I'm glad we started with you.
It really is
The brutal honesty right there.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like a lot of the mainstream AAA titles like Morrowind or what's another big
It
one?
was like 8 years ago that Morrowind
Elder
was
Scrolls.
big.
Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
That's another one. What else is there? Skyrim.
That's still the Elder Scrolls.
Is it?
Yes.
God.
My God.
He played all of a half an hour of the first Mass Effect and says
No,
he
I beat
beats
that
the game.
I beat that game. I got to be a Spectre, the first human Spectre, and then that's it. I guess I don't know. I think the credits rolled. I do like.
Have you ever played a Call of Duty?
Yes, and it was terrible.
How long ago?
It was on the GameCube.
Whoa.
But I
It
do.
was still a World War II game at that point.
You know what? Starting off with him maybe isn't the best idea because how many people are like these people have no
No,
credentials
click off.
whatsoever?
Well,
Clicking
that's
off.
but
Well,
that
how
is-
about you tell us what you do play?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do play mostly retro Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games. I also play a lot of the Wii U and the Wii and Mario games and Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and Hearthstone from Blizzard.
Nintendo fanboy.
Yeah, big time.
Resident Nintendo fanboy is what I am, basically.
Fair enough.
Got one on every show.
Well, and yeah, you know what? People probably are tuning in and going, well, these guys have no credentials. And you know what? That's the thing. We don't, you know what? We readily admit we don't have credentials. We're not game journalists. We haven't worked for
We are
fucking
still
GameSpot. You know, we haven't worked for IGN. And, you know, I don't know.
God.
I don't know about you guys, but I keep hearing this bullshit about ethics in games journalism. So, you know what? Here's a little bit of independent games journalism.
There you
Faux
go.
yo asses. So,
Throw yo asses with.
fro yo asses. So, Kali.
Yes.
What's up, man?
All right, so hi there. My name's Kali. I'm into also kind of retro games, but more along the Sega line through PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64. More recently, I've gotten into PC gaming. I was big into the BioShock series, the Elder Scrolls series. I really enjoyed. I did enjoy Mass Effect when I played through that. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've not really come up to speed with the most current run of games outside of like BioShock Infinite and stuff like that. Hoping to change that very shortly with Evolve, though, because Evolve looks freaking awesome.
All right, so our credentials are starting to get a little bit better. We're climbing the ladder.
At least
a little.
we're into the late 2000s, early 2010s now.
Hey, Wii U is next generation.
It is.
Say it.
You can't. Yeah, no. Look at that.
If you're playing next generation games on it and not just buying retro games.
I play the new ones like Smash 4 and Mario Kart 8, but I mean, it doesn't really hold.
I played
candle.
Mario Party 8 one time. I'm a modern gamer.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Yeah, I like myself.
So, you know, like we also all float in kind of like different nerd circles. I would say we all have different interests in different things.
Anime and cosplay.
Christoph. Card games.
I like
card games. Board games.
Board games, yes.
Yeah, oh
I
my
love
God,
board-
yes.
D&D.
D&D. I keep buying board games. Nobody plays with me. I have like four
Board
games I
but
haven't
never have
played.
enough people to play them with.
I have 4 games I've never played.
It's funny because we actually bought all those, and we have at our place, we have a Saturday game night, but because of Gamma World and Dungeons and Dragons, and the people that we invite over love that so much, they don't want to play the board games anymore. They just want to play Gamma World now.
Dude, have you played Betrayal? Betrayal at House on the Hill?
I love
no.
Betrayal.
It's
That's a
so
fun
great. I
game.
love that game.
We gotta play sometime.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's it about?
It's like
Betraying.
It's like Arkham, except it's easier and you betray each other.
I just said that, betraying, and you said no.
I didn't say no. I said it's like Arkham, but you betray each other and it's easier. You don't lose after 8 hours.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's a much nicer change of pace.
Okay.
So Nika, the only one of us who is not in studio. So
Ooh,
if
I thought you were going to say the only one of us that's a girl.
really, do we have to say that?
Wow. We have cameras for that now.
Don't think that. Yeah.
Not only do you have the audio, you now have the video.
Yeah, there you go. So, Nika, what do you bring to Final Encounter Cast here?
Okay, I am Nika, and I am mostly an RPG person. I play JRPGs, Western RPGs. I love anything. I'm a huge, obviously, Final Fantasy fangirl. Suikoden to the Western ones like Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Witcher. Mostly RPGs. Yeah. That's really the most thing. I like the action too. Like I like Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and Metal Gear, and Tekken.
Metal Gear.
You can see my Foxhound blanket behind me.
That is pretty. I'm actually pretty jealous of that.
I got
That's
that
legit.
at a convention. It was awesome.
That's legit.
And yeah, so I'm mostly RPGs with some action and Tekken.
And in terms of nerd cred, yeah, I mean, you go to
yes, I'm super
cons.
into the convention scene,
Yep.
mostly anime cons. I do go to Comic Cons, some gaming cons, and I cosplay, and I love to host. I actually held a meetup at MagFest last year for people who played Final Fantasy XIV, which is what our other podcast is about, and I had maybe about 20 people show up. It was lots of fun, so I'm more than willing to do more stuff like that in the future at conventions if more of you are into that as well. Absolutely looking forward to that.
So yeah. Thank you, Nika. Robbie.
Well, like Nika, RPGs is where my gaming career started.
It's where your bread is buttered.
Pretty much, yeah. FF7 made me a gamer and an RPG gamer as well, so I was part of that generation.
I like Zelda too.
Yep. But yeah, the Ocarina of Time was another one of my big ones growing up. But I kind of like a little bit of everything. I wouldn't say that there's just one thing that I stick to. For me, the biggest thing when it comes to games is characters and stories. You know, I can play first-person shooters, I can play RPGs, I can play action games as long as they have a story. You know, for as much flack as they get for being the same thing every time, I enjoy playing through the Call of Duties for the campaign mode. I don't really do the multiplayer stuff because it's all just repetitive, and that's where really games lose interest for me.
Call of Duty had a story.
Yeah, they actually
does.
do. And they
It
have
does.
some pretty
They
badass
don't.
moments in there, you know. But
there are some great cinematic
Oh, there
moments.
really
I mean,
are, absolutely.
The nuclear explosion going off and the helicopter going
Oh
down.
my
I mean, come on,
gosh.
dude. That's
absolutely.
like classic.
Absolutely, yeah. Bump it.
Bro fist.
You got it.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
Not doing that.
Also, tabletop RPGs. I got D&D back in college. I was a player for like maybe 2-ish years, and the first time that I DM'd, like it was over from them. From then, I can't be like just recently. I started being a player again. We every Sunday, and actually on this channel, we do a Dungeons and Dragons on Sunday nights. Usually, I don't know if that, how that's gonna work out with us doing this now, but we flip-flop back and forth between my Gamma World campaign and one of my players doing a 5th edition. And being a player in 5th edition, like not being able to have that power over my players, it's really hard. Like I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
And then when it comes back to my turn and I'm the DM again, I take it out on them, like psychologically. Yeah, but definitely tabletop RPGs and really anything. So I'm a huge Mass Effect fan too. So and a little bit of card games.
Right on. Comic books.
Yep. Right, going beyond just gaming, comics. Huge Marvel fan. DC's cool too. I think they have the better villains. Those are whole other cans of worms though.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure we got plenty of time to have all of those debates and arguments, and this is the perfect platform for all that shit too.
Right.
For as much as we are going to be talking about video games, we will talk about comics and anime and cosplay, conventions, all that sort of stuff. All of that is fair game here. So that if that's what you're wondering, this is the kind of content that you're going to get with Final Encounter Cast.
Well, what about you, Nate?
I also wanted to mention you're a writer too.
Oh, right, yeah. Actually, part of my background, I went to college for acting. So, when it comes to the actual podcast here that we do, Christoph, mentioned that he's the least qualified, not just in terms of gaming, but you went to college for logistics, and now here you are entertaining people. You know, I mean, Nate has a huge background in broadcasting. Kali has a background in video editing. I'm an actor. I'm the talent.
Right.
Nika.
You should have seen him walking around before this show, getting himself all primed and ready.
No, that's because I have an eye thing going on. It's allergies, okay? I get into character flawlessly.
Yeah, Nika speaks publicly all the time and as a part of her profession. So it's
Christoph's the odd one out. I don't know how the fuck he ended up here.
How did you end up here? Oh yeah, that's right. You wormed your way in as an intern on our old show.
It was supposed to be a joke.
It was a joke.
We didn't think that we were giving life to anything.
And now I'm the fan favorite. You're welcome.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. We'll see if that's how that ends up shaking out on this new show.
Everyone loves me and my hamburger headphones.
It's true. Now they can actually see the hamburger headphones.
That's true. Yeah,
that's what they were until I.
They're hamburgers.
In your head.
The burger phones.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I have a fan already.
I feel like Steven Universe would really like those.
Steven Universe?
From Fantastic.
Don't worry about it.
Is he from DC?
No. This is Cartoon Network. All right, so my name is Nate. I will, I guess, I will be acting as MC for the show here, and
Master Chief. You're the Master Chief.
No, Master of Ceremonies.
Master Chef.
Well, that's a big change from LBR. I don't know if we'll be able to handle that.
No, it's not. It's not a big change. So we've been hosting Limit Break Radio as a podcast going back all the way to 2006 when we launched the show for Final Fantasy XI. And over the years, we have crafted a really interesting talk show that we have brought back now for Final Fantasy XIV. And because of our support of our fan base, they have asked us through their dollars to make a new show. Like this has been a personal ambition. A show like this has been a personal ambition of mine for a long time. If you don't know, I am a radio producer by trade. So all of these nice microphones that you see here,
don't touch it.
That's all because of what I do in my professional life. And I have for a long time I've wanted to put something out there, and for as much as I love serving the Final Fantasy community, I've wanted to put something out there that is much more broad in scope and appeal. And so with us becoming a partnered channel on Twitch, and with Twitch launching this new channel,
is the
gaming talk shows.
The gaming talk show channel relatively new on Twitch too?
It's newer. It's like newer within the last it's
couple months.
It probably hasn't been there even a year yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured that would be a really good platform for us to do the show live. And then we also have, our podcast audience that we're building on top of as well. So that's sort of my, my professional history and sort of why I'm doing this. I tend to play a lot of RPGs. I've also played shooters sometimes.
He plays Metal Gear.
No. I mean, I've played, Call of Duties and Battlefields. I don't generally stay with them. Like I played Modern Warfare 2 a lot, and I played online with that a lot, but then, fell off when the next one came out, and everyone seemed to move on. So, I'm actually much more a creature of habit. I'm trying to work through my backlog of games that I've had sitting around for a long time.
I'm sure the Steam sale helped contribute to that.
No, it doesn't. And fuck you, Steam. But the other thing is that I'm a really heavy MMO gamer. I've played Final Fantasy XIV since it launched in 2010 with its 1.0, but before that I've played Final Fantasy XI for years, obviously doing the show for it, but also other MMOs such as EverQuest, Asheron's Call, a little bit of WoW, not very much at all, Ultima Online. So from very young, from like 16, 17, I got hooked on Ultima Online really, really hard, and I sunk lots of time and attention into online games. So, when it comes to single player games, some of my context stopped really abruptly, when I was in high school. But there are games that I love and series that I love, that I revisit and come back to over and over and over again. The one that I am very obsessed with is Metal Gear Solid. I love Metal Gear Solid, and I play through that whole series of games at least once every couple of years. And I'm very excited for when 5 comes out. My anime knowledge is fairly limited.
You're a weeaboo, aren't you?
No. I'm really not. I'm not.
See Evangelion.
I'm not. Yes,
Evangeline.
There are. Well, let me put it this way: there's really specific anime that I like. Evangelion being one of them, but I'm really critical of a lot of the anime that I see. I don't read comic books at all. I've never seen any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff. I don't follow that stuff at all.
You don't read current comic books because you can't be as big of a Venom fan as you are and not read comic books. Right?
I did read comic books growing up. I did watch Spider-Man the animated series and X-Men the animated series.
All right.
So I have I love that kind of stuff. But I have not followed its development in my adulthood.
Which is too bad.
Yeah, it's something that I regret and something that I want to catch up on and make good on at some point, but not a priority for me. I also feel like I am a huge TV nerd, though. I am a huge TV and film nerd.
Obscure stuff, though.
Not necessarily even obscure stuff, but
weird shit.
I like edgy shit. Yeah, weird shit, edgy
Twin
shit.
Peaks.
Twin
nobody has
Peaks.
ever heard of?
Oh,
yeah,
come on.
pretty much. Oh, come on. Meet the Feebles. Really? Everyone's heard of that.
It's a Peter Jackson movie, man. It's a Peter Jackson movie. He referenced that in his fucking speech when he went up to
nobody knew what he was talking about.
Saying it's a Peter Jackson movie, people hear that and say, "Oh yeah, he made Lord of the Rings." Most people hear that and they think he's made those movies, and that is it.
King Kong.
And King Kong.
He made King Kong.
Yeah.
He also made Dead Alive, which is another.
And apparently he made Meet the Feebles.
Favorite zombie movies. Yes, Meet the Feebles, which I don't know. I'm sure at some point we could dig into it, but it's like the Muppets on acid, and it's one of the strangest movies you'll ever see.
And also a porno.
Watch it.
Get that crap out of here.
No, it's awesome. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I like really weird art house obscure films. I'm a big fan of David Lynch. Twin Peaks, obviously, as these guys made fun of me for. All that hipster crap, I'm a big fan of. I'll admit it's total hipster shit.
He's
and
our resident hipster neckbeard.
Okay, fine.
You should see his fedora collection.
It's fedorable. Across the room fist bump. Oh yeah.
That'll be really interesting with the cameras. So no, but I don't have enough scarves to qualify, I think, as a hipster. I don't know.
Justify it however you want.
I definitely don't have enough tattoos to qualify as a hipster.
We know exactly what he's getting for Christmas now. Scarves from everybody.
Scarves and fedoras.
Oh, great. God damn it.
Wait, what about your Assassin's Creed scarf? It's a great conversation piece.
It is a great scarf. It's an awesome scarf. I love that scarf.
It's from Assassin's Creed. You've probably never heard of it.
All right. So we wanted to start this talk show. There's a lot of other gaming talk shows out there that you can choose to spend your time with. And the reason that we hope that you'll listen to this show and continue to keep coming back is, we don't necessarily come from like an industry insider context or have a huge Rolodex of people that we can have super fascinating interviews in and bring them into the studio.
Nor do we or claim to be any kind of news source.
No, we're not.
Not what we're trying to do.
We're absolutely not authoriries.
What do we have?
We have dick jokes.
We've got or cock jokes. One of those two. But we are enthusiasts. We're gamers. We're fans. We're
the people's people.
You may not learn anything, but you will be entertained.
Yeah, you might. You
might learn something, but you may not.
I don't know.
You might not be entertained.
You might not be entertained. Yeah,
you guys are selling this. Great job, guys. Great job.
Don't oversell this, man. I mean,
you guys might be entertained listening to this gaming show. There's a big ringing endorsement. I'd like to think we can manage that, guys.
But a lot again. Tons of other gaming shows exist right now, and we've been doing this for a long time. We feel like we've established a pretty good chemistry as a cast over 8 years off and on working with each other.
Fueled by lots and lots of hate.
Yes, it's with a subcurrent of loathing and jealousy that we do the show. It's basically personal one-upsmanship is the entire reason that we do shows together anymore.
You can only say things like we say to one another if it's kind of true on some level. Like you have to believe it somewhere.
Yeah, it's also it's got to be kind of true, and it's also, we hope, funny. So that I think takes care of our opening introduction, and so finally I think we can start the show proper, and we're going to kick it to Kali at the news desk. Kali, what's been going on?
Yeah, because we're not going to have any news on this show, but
at some point this will have its own piece of production. By the way,
ooh, yeah, fancy. All right. Batman Arkham Knight released on PC this week. It has been overwhelmingly blasted for issues such as a 30 FPS frame rate cap, crashes, and poor performance despite great hardware.
How do you mess that up? This is like the 5th game in the franchise?
I don't know.
Something to do with the company that ported it, I thought, right? Or no?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is that, Warner Brothers threw whatever company they subcontracted to do this game under the bus by saying, we're working with the company that did the port. So.
I've played Asylum and City, and I loved them. Okay,
yeah.
They're pretty.
What
much,
did you play them on?
Xbox.
Okay,
all right, or 360. So yeah, but whatever.
Right.
Anyway, point is, all right, they're pretty much the exact same game. So if you have any,
and they're both fun.
Well, they are both fun, yeah, and I'm sure that Origins and Night or whatever, I'm sure they're all fun. If you're having trouble, just look to Ubisoft. They've made how many Assassin's Creed games, and they're still going strong. Yeah. It's the same game, guys.
It is the same. Right. It's literally the same fucking game.
Well, yeah, so Steam refunds were so vastly requested that Steam pulled the game from their service until the game could be fixed.
Yeah, that's pretty major that they would backpedal on that level. And I mean, a lot of people called for refunds, and so being made good on that on some level still sucks that they can't. I mean, like, it seems like the PC platform would be the easy one to figure out, right?
Well, and Arkham City was pretty good on PC. I played Asylum on PS3, but I played Arkham City.
Did they not put it through QA?
Or did they just suck?
Well,
maybe they just suck.
There's its cut of the profit, so even though you get a full refund, guess who's paying the difference?
Yeah, but there's this huge fucking trend right now.
They're losing money on this.
There's this huge fucking trend that's happening right now that, like, companies are regularly shipping broken goddamn games and then patching them day 1 or day 2. Isn't that what happened with The Witcher? The Witcher came out broken, and they had to like put out a patch within the first 24 hours to be able to fix some major issues.
It was just minor things. Like, there were glitches or there were but it wasn't as bad as this.
Who needs playtesting?
We'll just let our players play test it.
We got free playtesting all over the place. All right. Following the controversy in America over the Confederate flag, Apple pulled all Civil War games from the App Store due to their depiction of the flag. One of the games pulled was a tactical reenactment of the Battle of Gettysburg, though it was later restored with an apology from Apple for the mass bannings. Apple also commented that other games which use the flag in a historical context will be unbanned over time.
That's such an overreaction on Apple's part.
Apple trying to change history. They're like, we'll just erase it from the record books.
If it doesn't exist on the Apple Store, it doesn't exist. Let's be frank.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because Apple will be the keeper of history from now on. That's fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, I understand the controversy, and I don't think anyone is going to sit here and defend the stars and bars by any means. But I mean, like, you don't have to have that level of reaction to like, I don't know, PC nonsense. That's such an overreaction. Way to go, Apple.
Shenmue creator Yu Suzuki addressed budget concerns over the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3, saying that Sony and Shibuya Productions will be assisting with the production and marketing respectively. He also commented that even if they fail to make their stretch goals, the quality of the game will be no less than that of Shenmue 1 and 2. People were concerned that if the Kickstarter didn't meet all of its stretch goals, then maybe it wouldn't be as great a game.
Oh, okay.
There was actually a lot of controversy surrounding this because apparently,
there was,
it was just a big marketing ploy.
yeah, because Sony had every intention on funding the game and then just wanted to see what it could accomplish by throwing it out on Kickstarter.
That worries me for the future
It
of
does.
gaming, honestly. Like, oh, if this random game can get this much money, let's put it out for a game like Final Fantasy. Just pretend like you're not going to make another one.
FF16 on Kickstarter.
Tons of, like, if they had said, hey, we're thinking about an FF7 remake, give us money. How much money do you think they would have
Everyone would have just shat money at them.
You know what? No, that is actually true because a few years ago, Nathan Fillion mentioned in just like offhanded in some interview that if he had the money to buy the rights from Firefly from Fox, he'd fund the show, like fan fund it. Within like a few weeks, fans had raised $2 million, and he's like, "Whoa!
Hang on, back
First
up,
of all,
guys.
it's not for sale." and yeah, like there's actually a help Nathan buy Firefly Facebook group that I think they just ended up putting all that money then towards charities and stuff like that. But no,
help Nathan buy Firefly even though it's not for sale.
Just the off chance that there are certain things people can get, and they'll eat it up. Definitely.
It has been confirmed that the upcoming Fire Emblem Fates will be the first in the series to allow for same-sex marriages.
Oh, hey, that's great.
But they're so behind in the ballgame. Like, there are so many other games doing that right now. Like where have they been?
But and yet still Nintendo is behind the curve on that.
No, Nintendo. What's up with that, Christoph?
Would you stop missing if you're going to do it?
Yeah, hit him. We have cameras now. I can do this.
If you're going to throw it, hit him at least.
They're not going to see that on camera.
Well, I'm throwing stuff at him, guys.
Okay. Yeah, he's throwing.
I'll get bigger stuff.
He's being immature, like always.
Said the guy who flipped off my camera.
That was funny though.
Square Enix has confirmed that while the remake of Final Fantasy VII will not have any new characters, the game's battle system may be revised to make it more, quote, realistic.
Ooh.
We need to have more characters in Final Fantasy VII.
I agree, and I think I want the... What were they joking about? Where's the Eris Lives DLC that you can buy for $30 where she doesn't die?
No.
You know who would be perfect for Final Fantasy VII?
Lightning.
Yeah. They should do a crossover event.
Cloud dies,
God.
Lightning conveniently comes in. Hey, guys, what's up?
And then the rest of the game is Lightning making out with Eris. Everyone gets their wish.
Okay, all right.
The perfect opportunity because if they look at like Crisis Core and Advent Children as their canon, they have the perfect opportunity to fill in the story holes between the games, and it will be a beautiful masterpiece.
I never thought that the story holes were even that bad.
No. Hang on. Can we let's put a pin in this and come back to it because I feel like we're gonna have a big Final Fantasy VII remake discussion. So okay, but let's just remember this that that's what's happening. So
due to overwhelming public outcry at there being a spin-off Metroid game that does not feature Samus, representatives from Nintendo have acknowledged that there is a large demand for a new Metroid game, and more details to come on that in the future.
Wait.
And that's what's new in gaming news.
They're going to have a Metroid game that doesn't feature Samus?
A spin-off of the Metroid series, and people are like, but we just want another Metroid game. And then they're like, oh, okay, apparently they want a Metroid game, and that's all they've said.
So
they've acknowledged that there is want for it, not that there's going to be one.
Are they going to have like a Metroid game where you play as a Metroid? That'd be pretty sweet. Sucking everyone's
Metroid
brains.
Mother Brain Simulator.
Hey, man, if Goat Simulator can make it,
why not Mother Brain Simulator?
Why not Mother Brain?
Not?
It does seem like why not just make another fucking Metroid game? Like why spin it off like that?
Because spin-offs.
There's like no other characters in Metroid except for Metroids and Ridley.
Star Wars Rogue Squadron is going to be a spin-off movie. Everyone's doing spin-offs. Got to do it.
Ridley's Day Off.
Ridley's Baking Simulator.
Ridley, the early years.
Oh, no.
God.
Ridley Crisis Core.
This is gold. This is gold, guys.
Stop it. You're giving Square Enix too many ideas for sequels and spin-offs. Don't do that.
Did they make Metroid?
No, but just they're going to take the ideas, apply it to their properties, and then we're never going to.
I heard Ridley's going to be in the next Kingdom Hearts.
Look, all I'm saying is for the amount of money that they plan on sinking into the FF7 remake, they could make like 7 spin-offs. Cha-ching.
Spin-offs
we'll get to it. I told you put a pin in it. We're going to get to that.
7 spin-offs of Final Fantasy VII?
No, let's hope not.
Red Soccer Simulator. It's canon. He plays ball with the kids in Costa del Sol.
Oh my God. All right.
Build your own Kate Sith factory.
I'd do it.
Come on, Nero, try it.
They need to have like a first-person shooter with Vincent and have him shooting bad people and shoot and make materia and magic and stuff.
I got it. Surgeon Simulator with Ares.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
There you go.
There
See,
you go.
good
There you
one.
go.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Or a bartending simulator with Tifa.
There you go. There you go. Like what's that one game? Was it Fat Mama? What is the fucking
Fat Mama.
No, Fat
Cooking Mama?
I think I'm thinking of Fat Princess and Cooking Mama, and I
There
just
you
threw them together. What?
Hoyle presents
Fat
Blackjack
Mama.
and the Gold Saucer.
Wow. I mean, Vincent got his own fucking game. Why not? Right? So I hope
It's
that
cool though.
Or
Vincent is
materia
cool.
hunting with Yuffie.
that was boring. Boo.
Jesus, did you even try?
Right?
Kane's pole dancing lessons.
Was that Nika? Did you just say I did? Because if you did, because that would be the sad part.
That you tried.
That you tried.
No, I didn't hear what you said
Okay,
there.
all right. So we figure, like, look, this is our first episode. We're current on most of the news here. E3 2015 just went down. That's the biggest source of news. Like, that's the biggest info dump that we get. Like, for a while, at least until the next trade show that we hit. So, I know it's a little bit of old hat at this point, but to set the tone, to set the stage, to set the foundation of the show, if you will, I figure that it's current enough that we can talk about it and it's still relevant, right?
Well, because it's still being talked about. A
Yes.
lot of it is.
A lot of
So
it is. Yes.
Why not?
Right. So, of course, a lot of crazy announcements going on at E3 2015. Was anyone else watching live? I actually had most of the day off for the press conference days, so I was watching them while playing.
I had to catch the notes later. It was a work day.
No.
Yeah, I pretty much just caught everything that you and Kooky were raving about in the chat.
So, I mean, does that speak to your enthusiasm surrounding E3? Like, do you feel like you are not as enthused about E3 announcements as you once were?
Not enough to take a day off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, no, I
You can
didn't
watch, like,
take.
every single stream from all the different companies, but this year I don't know.
I didn't take. Well, I didn't. Let's be clear. I didn't take the day off to do that.
You had the day off.
I had the day
Right.
off. I was able to do it. So, I mean, like, it used to be E3 was this huge deal. I mean, I remember watching it on fucking like G4, and I mean, back then I was in college, so I would skip class and smoke pot and watch E3 stuff all day. And so, but it had some kind of focus. It had some kind of big importance, at least in my life, and I was paying attention, sometimes with bated breath, to each announcement that was coming. Did you guys ever go through that at all?
2 days beforehand, before E3 came, all right, I saw an article that, and I don't know if this was leaked information or I didn't even actually read the article or where it came from, but I did see a headline on Facebook that said Final Fantasy VII Remake. And my head went back a few months, or maybe it was sometime last year, where Square Enix had actually put a call out to do a fan survey about which old, like, retro Square Enix game or Squaresoft game would you most like to see remade.
Why did they put that out? They knew what the answer was.
So when I saw that headline and then I thought of that survey, just immediately I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yes.
I knew what was coming, and that just killed it all for me. You'll all learn why later. But
But was there ever a point where E3 did have that kind of importance? Where
I guess maybe a little bit. I mean, it's not stuff that we're gonna get. It's all stuff that's coming. So I don't think I ever got too hyped up about it because there was still gonna be a wait. I mean, still a lot of these announcements. It's still gonna be a few years before we see a lot of this come to fruition. Anyhow,
Sure.
So I mean, it's obviously cool to read all the news and stuff, but I don't think E3 has ever held that much of a sway over me. Nah.
I used to get big into watching E3, but I think the thing nowadays is that social media and podcasting and streaming, what they are, you're going to find out all the news no matter what anyway. You don't have to tune in for E3 to find out.
That's
you're going to
true.
find out. Like, even 5 years ago, you might not have caught everything.
And in previous years, too, they've kind of, I don't know, taken away a lot of the spectacle of it now, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to make it more accessible to people. And because it used to be this thing that was, like, big and prestigious and exclusive, right?
It used to be press only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought it actually used to
open.
Yeah, no, I thought it used to be open, and now it's like invite press only.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember I was like, in my high school years trolling GameFAQs.com's forums, and there's like a whole big hullabaloo that it's no longer going to be open to public. So that in turn like equaled that it was closing forever, and everyone was all sad and mad and stuff.
I remember that.
But it's like just only press. It's
No,
like,
no, because it just got way too big to manage. I mean, that was the issue at the time, and clearly there hasn't been issues since then, and attendance is absolutely insane. It is one of the premier events. It's like I would say that's where people go to show off what you're going to get for the year. I mean, there are other ones.
Much.
Like there's Tokyo Game Show. You get a lot of stuff from out there as well. What are some of the other big conferences
these days? It's PAX. A lot of PAX always gets a big amount of announcements.
PAX, but there's also
Gamescom gets a lot too.
Gamescom, yeah, as well. But there's also private events as well, like BlizzCon and
Nika one.
And Nintendo has a lot of those smaller events to announce.
But the thing about E3 is no one says, we'll just pass on E3. Everyone gets something together for E3. No one passes on it.
There was a while when people were dropping out of E3 for a while, yeah.
I feel like it's stormed back, though, in the past
I think so
5
too.
years-ish.
I think so too. So why don't we start at Microsoft? A lot of big announcements for the Xbox One as a console. The first of which, the Xbox One is now backwards compatible.
Which, come on.
with all your old 360 games.
That wasn't the thing that was out of the gate. Yep, come on.
Well, no, because there was right when Xbox One was being released, there was this whole big DRM issue, and there was no backwards compatibility for the system at all, and now backwards compatibility going to be a huge feature, huge clutch feature, and something that they have over Sony. And my question is this going to end up in the end? I mean, here's the thing: Sony has a superior product, and they probably have a better library of games, arguably at this point. When you want to talk, I don't know, maybe not when you talk exclusives, but in terms of games that are out for both systems, multi-platforms, and it's a better machine. Is Sony does this put Sony in a position where they're gonna have to respond and do something similar with the PlayStation?
I don't know. I mean, I think they should to begin with, because for me, why isn't that just a thing?
It's like 2015.
Come on.
They had that with the PS2
they want
and
you
PS1.
to rebuy the games you already have.
I think that was really it.
You need to have
really
money.
That's why they call them classics. It's
because it's so much work for us to just hook up our old PS3 and play them, as opposed to buying.
I think most people don't do that stuff,
the
though.
old tech becomes outdated, whereas the discs still play. But my PS1 is kind of on its last limbs, and if I want to play a PS1 game, I should be able to pop it in my PS4 and play it.
You should be able to. and you know what? Maybe they will end up responding to and coming out with that. I mean,
it doesn't. It seems ridiculous that backwards compatibility is even a question.
Right?
In these
Exactly.
days. I feel like. There are so many other games that old games that I have sitting around that I want to continue to play. So what? I have to keep my my PS3 laying around. I don't know. It just seems silly not to support backwards compatibility, and it also just seems like a craven cash grab.
Yeah,
and
once you fill up your hard drive on games, you have to buy a bigger hard drive. More money.
And I mean, of course, it's a hardware thing where the discs play differently, but there's no reason you can't build around that.
Right.
If you want backwards compatibility in your system, you would make it happen. It is a blatant choice to not have it.
Watch them crowdfund it and see how much people put money in.
God.
Who wants backwards compatibility in the PS4?
Better yet, why don't they just come up with a peripheral that gives you backwards compatibility?
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a terrible idea. That's the worst idea.
It worked well for the Sega 32X, right?
But you know what? Good on Microsoft for making this decision.
For doing something they should have done from day one.
Well, I think they needed. I think they needed to do it. I think they've been in such a slump in terms of sales performance, that it has to. That decision was forced upon them. But I'll tell you what. I've got a bunch of old 360 games that I don't necessarily want to part with. So, that definitely, weighs into my decision making. It doesn't bring me all the way over to Xbox One side.
I would say, would you consider buying Xbox
no.
One? Okay.
No. But it helps. I guess.
Just not much.
Yeah. So, Halo 5 Guardians, you all have to hunt down Master Chief.
All right, now I'm going to say this about the Halo series. I've never been able to get into it. There's something about it as a first-person shooter that felt slow and clunky to me. All right. Halo 4 apparently had such this great storyline and narrative to it that I tried to give it a chance, but it still felt the same. Okay. However, knowing what I do know about it, okay, this could be interesting. The idea that now through a franchise that has such a dedicated following and has such a, I mean, come on, people, the Halo fans have such a massive heart-on for Master Chief.
Yeah.
This kind of narrative could be really fucking cool.
I was big on the original Halo games. I was like Halo 1, 2, even I liked 3. Once the 343 Studios took over and Bungie kind of left the scene, I didn't like their new take on it. Even me now, someone who's fallen out of liking Halo, though, I agree. Like, the idea for 5 is cool. Will the execution be good?
True. I mean, Nika, do you have much knowledge towards Halo?
I have a few friends that are super into Halo. I played the first 2 games. I'm surprised that with all of the, we want a Metroid game with Sam that we play Samus. People aren't bitching that they're not going to be Master Chief in this.
No,
one?
people were bitching.
Really? Were they? Because imagine it like this.
I thought there's another Halo game where you aren't Master Chief.
Yeah,
So I kind of think
there was ODST where you weren't Master Chief. That focused on something completely different.
But I feel like you can categorize that as a spin-off, whereas something with a number, Halo 5. You think you would still get to be the same main character.
I just sort of feel like maybe the audience has sort of made peace with not playing as Master Chief while playing a Halo game. Like, I feel like they've maybe slowly introduced that idea, and so it's not so foreign, alien, and outwardly rejected.
I think it's a fucking cool idea. Like, if they would have, imagine if the Mass Effect or the Mass Effect 4 announcement was that you have to contend with Shepard, like you're going up against him. That blew my fucking mind. That would be fucking awesome.
For me, the greatness of Halo wasn't really in the story or who you played as or anything like that. Like, when I think about Halo and what I loved about it, it was me, 12 friends sitting in a basement, 4 Xboxes, LAN party. That is where the greatness of Halo was for me. And that's, when I have fond memories of that game, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
So, and really, maybe it's just the takeoff of online gaming as opposed, it's basically killed the idea of that LAN party now. But when I think about Halo, that is what I would think of as a good memory, and I don't know that anything that comes out now will recapture that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I mean, early LAN parties playing Halo, that was one of the LAN staples. It was like that and Quake.
Halo, Quake, and if you did PC, it was Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
That was it.
Or Warcraft 3 sometimes.
Yep.
That was thrown in there too.
StarCraft was another good one. But those are the kinds of things, when I think about games like that, those are the memories that stick out. Even though Halo's storyline was decent, that's not what stands out.
No, I agree. But Halo 5 Guardians it looks like it's going to be an interesting game. Maybe it's the fact that you can can't you choose the Master Chief side too? I don't know. I didn't think it was all adversarial against Master Chief.
No, right? Yeah,
there's a choice in there,
right? Yeah.
But then again, I don't know that much about it. I checked out of Halo long ago when, the bro dudes downstairs would be like, yo, dude, you want to play Halo and drink some fucking Bud
brewski?
Dude, wasn't that really the beginning of bros coming into gaming and kind of taking over? It was that, and then it led into Call of Duty, and that was just it.
It's all Halo's fault.
It is all Halo's fault.
Stupid Halo. No, I don't think you can throw that all on Halo's shoulders, but that's definitely when I checked out of it. I mean, Call of Duty was a big factor.
No, Call of Duty was where it took off, but I think Halo opened the door.
I feel like any broskies I saw that played in college were just Madden players.
Yeah, Madden too. Yeah.
That's not even a game.
I have this box on top of my TV. I think I got to use it.
That would have been that would have been semi acceptable,
right?
As gaming, but they're like, no, Madden, and that's all they would do.
Bro, check this out. Right. I want to play a video game, but I don't want this girl to think I'm playing a video game, so I'm going to play one about football, and she'll totally want to do me.
Pretty much.
And then it turned into, it doesn't matter, that girl's going to do me anyway. She's going to sit here and watch me play Halo. That's what I watched that happen so many times in college. Just a bored girl going are we done yet? Can I play beer pong? What are we doing? And dude's like, all right, one more match. I'm going to play Nazi Zombies just real quick. That happened all the fucking time, dude. All the time. So Recore is the new Xbox One IP made from talent behind Metroid Prime. That's kind of cool. Fallout 4 coming November 10th.
Dude, the internet exploded over that.
Fallout 4, dude. That's such a huge announcement. I'm a huge Fallout fan. Played through Fallout 3. Never went back for New Vegas, though.
Pretty good.
And all of the stuff that came afterwards. But Fallout 4, hugely, hugely exciting. It is going to be better on the Xbox One. And part of that is Bethesda's going to be pushing mods.
I was gonna say, yeah. What exactly does that mean? Better.
I'm not sure. I don't know if if it's going to run technically better on the Xbox One, but they're going to be bringing PC mods to consoles, and it's going to start with the Xbox One.
Interesting.
So it may come to the PlayStation 4 later, but they were a little bit more mum about that than they were about Xbox.
You know what? Now that I have the Technonomicron, I feel like a big thing that I'm looking at now is, do I buy games for the console or do I buy them for the PC?
That is a tough choice. Yeah, now you have that option. Man.
I don't. It's really weird playing games with a keyboard. So.
Not that
I would use them for MMOs.
No, but for MMOs. But there are games that it's like, they just don't transfer well to keyboard mouse.
I've been replaying back through FF7. I'm just using like 4 keys with 4 fingers.
Right.
And it's weird.
Could hook up a controller and play your FPS on your PC.
I use controller for 14 with the PC. I feel like there's a lot of games that's bad.
Nika, stop.
No.
Stop.
It's okay, Nika. I do too.
No.
I thought we converted you to keyboard.
Yeah, I did that for like a day and was like,
oh,
fuck
come
this.
on.
Boom.
Dude,
God.
I sang you a whole new world keyboard parody and everything.
Yeah, I remember how that went. Dude, it's so bad.
He worked hard on that.
Stop. No, he didn't.
No, it was actually really easy.
See, that's something I would have believed when I was new on this show, but no.
The Division beta will release in December for Xbox One. Xbox Game Preview is like Steam Early Access. Let's see. Xbox Elite, Microsoft's new ultra customizable controller. This is pretty cool. That's pretty dope.
What does that mean exactly? Like skins?
No, like you can
add buttons.
No, you can take the joystick out, replace it with like a joystick that has better action, more accuracy. I don't know. I didn't really look that closely into it, but I
don't want to play with B buttons in my game.
I want to
get it off of there.
I want to put spinners on my my controller.
Well, if you want buttons that have a different like release point or different action on them,
maybe could I add like the giant dong from the Nintendo 64 controller?
What?
You remember the 64 controllers?
Yeah. Yes.
Can I add
I don't remember
giant
penis.
Yeah, the giant like fucking centerpiece.
Oh,
the part that had the joystick on it.
Yeah. Can I add that?
I don't know.
That's quite a jump from that to dong, man.
Is that canon that it's called a dong?
Am I the only person that thought that was like a giant
when I think of
phallic symbol?
No, hold on. Wait.
The Wii is closer.
Wait. It's not just that it could be a phallic symbol. It's that you refer to it as one. Is that a thing among Nintendo fanboys? Or is that just a you thing?
I don't see how it couldn't be.
I do.
Yeah, that's weird, dude.
All right, we're gonna relegate that to Nintendo fanboy thing.
Sure.
With systems
that's
out there,
a new one.
The Wii and the Atari joystick, he goes for the N64 as having a giant dong on it.
It has a dong.
Sure.
Controller.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Why do you say things sometimes?
He doesn't have. I think he doesn't have a filter. He doesn't think about what he says before he says them, and that's his problem.
Well, can I put a dong on it? I'm pretty sure that you could probably suction cup a dildo to the back of it if you really want to.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, there. Does that answer your question?
Or cock.
Or cock.
Oh, cock.
Or cock. So, Rise of the Tomb Raider gameplay trailer shows Lara in peril. Of course. What else would it do? What else would it do?
Strong female protagonists. They have to all be in peril all the time.
But hey, the point is though, she's going to get
peril.
herself out of peril.
That's right.
I'm actually looking forward to it because I really enjoyed the most recent.
Wait, there's not going to be a strong male lead to come save her? Chris
And
Pratt's
Tomb
not going to
Raider
show up at the
after
last
everyone,
second
with his
Well,
Raptor squad.
with his Raptor Squadron.
That'd be amazing.
I'd play it.
I feel like a lot of people would play it at this point. Rise of the Tomb Raider trailer looked really good. Looked like a fun trailer. Let's see. Microsoft has a new relationship with Valve VR and a special Minecraft HoloLens. Did you guys see
It
this?
looked awesome.
That
It
is
looked
so
cool.
crazy.
That was honestly one of the craziest things I've
I'm
ever
scared
fucking
of that.
seen ever.
I'm telling you guys, we are looking at the future of gaming with this technology. This
That's
is it.
fucking crazy. And I mean, like, you know, like, yeah, Callie, you mentioned, you know, like, that's the future of games, like, not just in terms of, like, how it's displayed, but in terms of the way that you actually fundamentally interact with the product.
And have you seen, like,
Yes.
the Omni Mill and stuff that's going with it?
Crazy.
They now have the Omni Mill, where it is a treadmill that you're stationed onto, where you can walk in all directions
Yeah,
to control
I've
your
seen it.
movement.
I've seen
they
it.
have a
I've
gun
been
that you can
wanting
aim
something like this
with.
since I was a kid.
You know what? There was
It's
an
here.
article-
It's coming.
There was an article I read that pertained to the Oculus Rift specifically. That I was reading through it. I mean, it all sounded real cool. It's all, you know, concepts and stuff that you had heard about before. But there was one anecdote that this guy talks about being in this game. I forget what it was called. And he's just like being able to look up at the sky and see clouds. And then he goes, "What really got me though, like the moment where I knew, like where I had went over the cusp, was he looked down at some little character that was with him, right? And it looked back up at him, and he was just like, at that moment when we made eye contact, he's just like, it was all over."
There's a game called Dread Halls, right? It's a horror game. To look at your map, you look down and it pulls up your map. But the coolest thing about it is, instead of like walking around a corner and then like turning your head and looking, you can actually peek your head like this to look around the corner. And that blew my mind when I saw it.
Well, I mean, like, if you guys, I'm sure that you guys have seen these videos on YouTube of people who are wearing Oculus Rifts,
Yes.
and they're going through like the roller coaster simulator,
right.
and as it's cresting over the edge, as
They
it's coming
just
over the edge,
fall.
they just lose all sense of equilibrium,
Yeah.
and it's just, it's crazy.
It's the future.
It's crazy how immersive games are becoming, and how immersive technology is going to end up making them.
The Oculus was having problems with its dev because people were doing horror games on them and literally breaking their Oculus Rifts by ripping them off their head in a panic and throwing them.
Yeah,
That's how into it people were getting.
No.
Yes.
Well, I mean, in horror games, there are some people who are really get legitimately freaked out just playing horror games.
It's a whole new world of horror, though. Like, it's like, this is not just a really good horror game where, like, these are games that, by today's standards, wouldn't even be considered great horror games. The new Aperture, though, gets you so
How
immersed
long
into
until
it.
someone has a heart attack and they try suing the game company?
How long? You know when it's going to happen? When a full, like, major studio gets its hands on it and decides to make a horror. These are indie games that are terrifying people to the point of destroying their $400 headsets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There is something to that immersive quality, and you know what? I gotta say, dude. I feel like having this, like having a controller, having this scheme, buttons, controllers, joysticks, all of this is all going by the wayside. This is, I think, going to be the biggest disadvantage for anyone learning this future wave of, that is going to be interactive media. I don't know if I even want to call it video games. Interactive media. We're seeing it now.
Virtual entertainment.
Okay, not quite, but anyway, we're seeing it now in a lot of ways with like touch screen controls, iPads. People have, like, I feel like kids, like my little cousins, 7, 8 years old, they have a much easier time interacting with Minecraft and can do so with such dexterity.
Perfect example of what you're trying to say. Have you seen the video about the guy who made a bike that handles backwards? It took him 3 months to make his brain relearn how to ride a bike, and he couldn't do both. He then had to relearn it the other way. His 5-year-old did it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. As you get older, you become more set in your ways, and you cannot just.
It becomes
flip the
harder.
switch.
Yeah, it becomes harder.
You have to map completely
Everything
different
in life
neural
is that way,
pathways.
though. Like, look at learning languages and all of that kind of stuff. It's all the same. Like, the younger you are, the more kind of like accepting and absorbative you are.
Right. Well, I mean, I go back and think about growing up and being very young, and the first time that I was ever exposed to a Nintendo, and watching my dad try to play Mario Brothers and losing his goddamn mind, getting fucking frustrated because he couldn't do it.
Do you remember just trying to figure out, like, how are you so bad at this? How can my parents not do
That's
this?
exactly it. Like, that's that question was like something I asked. How is it possible that they are so bad at this?
That's right, 8-year-old listener. Have fun now. And see you in 17 years when you can't do this shit anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, like...
Because we have a big 8-year-old listener base.
I don't know.
We're definitely aging out of some of this shit.
The way technology's going, I feel like with nowadays youth are getting so into, like, I mean, the 2-year-olds know how to use iPads. It's ridiculous. And I think that their brains may be more trained in kind of used to the kind of technology, whereas
that's it. That's exactly
easier
it.
to adapt for them than even for us, and especially for our
absolutely. And what I'm saying is that if we as old fucking geezers, if we want to be able to stay relevant with the young kids and playing the video games, that we are actually going to have to put effort into retraining how we interact with games.
Man. No one told me I was going to have to work.
Like, no, there's going to be, I mean, it's going to be a much more difficult learning curve for someone in their late 20s, early 30s. Yes, I'm 30. And, you know what I mean? Like, then it is going to be for kids. And we're going to have to make a conscious effort to either decide to get good at it or, raise a family. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I feel like, you know what I feel?
Or just give up and have kids.
Yeah, give
priorities.
Yeah.
Well, then your kids can teach you. So.
Oh, I don't want to ever be there.
Who wants to wait 5 years for your kids to learn what the fuck,
Who wants their 5-year-old kid to be better than them?
The Oculus 360, whatever.
I had to wait till I was like 17 to be able to beat my dad in basketball or something like that. I don't want my kid beating my ass when he's 5.
Yeah, exactly. See,
that's not fair.
I play video games so that I have something to be better at than my kids at for whenever I decide to have kids.
I feel like people have that moment where they realize they're better than their parents at stuff.
Yeah.
I really don't want my kid to have to go through that at 5 years old.
I don't want them to ever go through that. I want to always be better than my fucking kid.
I just don't want kids.
Yeah,
right?
That too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. No.
We're all in agreement on that? All right.
No,
cool. No children.
Absolutely not.
Not me. Someday.
Okay, that's nice.
Of course you want kids. You're a girl.
Oh, jeez. And the viewer base just dropped. Wait. Can I cut in my horribly insensitive comment mark?
No.
Is that fine?
Just bring on the SJWs. Come on.
All right. Social Justice Warriors unite.
And now Christoph rears his misogynistic head.
Put your penis away. People can see that now. All right. And Gears of War 4 was also out there at the Microsoft press conference. Who wants to talk about Sony? Somebody is some Sony
I thought you were a master of ceremonies. All right. So, Sony. The Last Guardian is finally coming to PlayStation 4. Is that a thing people have been waiting for?
Yes, The Last Guardian from I
guess they announced it like years and years ago, and then it dropped off the face of the earth. And so when they announced it came back, like my entire Facebook feed was flipping out over this game.
Yeah, well, and it's from the same production team that did Shadow of the Colossus and Eco, which are two PlayStation 2 classics, and a highly anticipated game. Yeah, we did get a trailer for it. This very I think it was a pre-rendered cinematic trailer a couple of years ago. If I remember, there was just a bunch of shadows chasing someone through some ruins. But this actually showed off some gameplay, and it looks really interesting. The thing about that development team, and I think they're called Team Eco. I'm not sure. Somebody in the chat can correct me on that if I'm wrong. Their really big thing is their attention to story, narrative, detail, and creating gameplay that's not so didactic, that allows the player to learn and adapt as they go and sort of figure things out on their own. And has always been praised as a really, really great development studio. studio. So yeah, The Last Guardian, that was a big deal. I saw that on like some of the most anticipated lists, hearing something about Last Guardian, and before the show there was nothing, no leaks, nothing had come out about this at all. So that was one of the big surprises. Got a huge cheer line at E3.
Horizon Zero Dawn is like Conan the Barbarian meets Transformers. That's a pretty cool tagline. I could get behind that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I could get into that. Right?
No Man's Sky shows gameplay in a gorgeous pulp sci-fi universe.
Wait, I think Horizon Zero Dawn is the thing that they had where it was like people, like nomadic hunter people hunting the mechanical dinosaurs.
What? Right, hold on. I think I remember seeing something like this. Sometime last year apparently. when around when Destiny was first starting to come out, and I actually thought when I seen this maybe that I thought when Destiny came out that it was the same thing, but no, I think I remember what you're talking about now. That did look really, really sweet.
Yeah, it does. It did look well. I think this was the game that had received a lot of shit, either when people had heard about the idea or they had released like an early trailer to just sort of like sell the concept, and people were like, hunting mechanical dinosaurs, what are you, fucking retarded? Like, this is stupid. This is the dumbest premise I've ever heard for a game. And then they came out with this. I think they reworked some of it, and then they came out with this, and everyone was like, oh no, shit, this looks really good.
Never mind, we're good.
All right, so there's No Man's Sky, gameplay in this gorgeous pulp sci-fi universe. And I don't know about you guys, but because of my Mass Effect obsession, like I have just in the past few years had like this insane craving for sci-fi related everything. Like sci-fi TV shows, you know, that are reminiscent of like Farscape, Battlestar Galactica, and Firefly, and games too.
Sure.
So
I'm very picky with my sci-fi.
No,
Mass
it is.
Effect was something that really pulled me.
I know.
Into, I'm
it's hard to
about anything else. Sci-fi.
It's hard to do right.
Very picky.
It's hard to do right, but when they do it right, like I
you said doo-doo.
I eat that. I eat that shit up.
I'll bet you do. I'll bet you do.
Yeah, awesome guys. Killjoys is a new sci-fi show though that is like right on track to do that. And yeah,
where's your cutoff? Like, where's in terms of sci-fi? Like, I feel like there's like an era or year where there's like a cutoff where people are like, I can't really do anything before, say, like Star Wars, like 1984. You know, like that's kind of their cutoff.
I don't know. For me, it's really a case by case basis.
Really?
I'll say it again. Being a writer and an actor, my biggest thing is character development and story. I can look past shoddy special effects. Defiance has some pretty bad special effects early on, but the characters are extremely like well thought out and like flawed and in depth, very Firefly-like, and that show's great despite the fact that some of the special effects can be really, really like just right there, like oh my god.
Right. No.
But yeah, no. So it's really a case by case kind of thing. Final Fantasy VII will be remade on the PS4 first, the Ultimate Fan Service. Now, this right here, they are gonna apparently release a remade port of the original before they do the full-on remake.
Yeah, they announced that at last year's E3, I think, and everyone thought it was gonna be a remake. Then they're just like, port coming, and everyone's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
never mind.
Yeah, that's not what we thought it was. But let's you know, we originally again, if you're just joining us, you know, this is our very first show of a new show called Final Encountercast. We are a podcasting team that has been podcasting for a long time for Final Fantasy MMOs, and so you know, this huge news from Square Enix, I feel like we got to sit here, we got to pause a second, and we've really got to talk about this. We got to talk about the FF7 remake. This is a big deal. I mean, for a lot of people, this announcement was the thing that won E3 and clinched it for Sony in terms of their press conference being the best out of them. And you know, and it's also kind of a big deal internally. Robbie, let's talk about this, because this has been, it's a little bit of an inside joke, but going back, we've known each other since college.
All right, let me provide some expose on this.
Fine.
As I said earlier in the show, Final Fantasy VII is what made me a gamer and an RPGer. Okay, that was an experience for me. unlike anything else, okay? My very first time really experiencing games in general was the kind of thing that nowadays people get from, like, the Mass Effect trilogy, okay? And I got that with this game. So it's a huge thing for me. And I don't even remember how it originally came up back in college, but I've known these assholes for years.
I feel like it was like a conversation that we had around dinner.
I don't know. Somehow a Final Fantasy VII remake got brought up.
But it was right around the time that Square Enix was releasing a lot of remakes of earlier Final Fantasy titles.
Okay, I can't even remember the origin of this.
Final Fantasy III had I think just come out on the DS. Final Fantasy IV remake was not far behind, or that had just come out. Like, it was all around that kind of era.
And so one of these guys mentions a Final Fantasy VII remake, and it awakens within me this rage behemoth that I didn't even know existed. And from then on, they thought that it was funny to poke the Hulk. That's what it was, okay? I was Bruce Banner, and you guys found, like, a Hulk smash button in me. All right? Because this is so hard to focus and not just like, flip out right now. Okay?
You relax.
Shut up. Final Fantasy VII.
Deep breath. Just take a deep breath.
Just stop and let me do this, okay? You are not funny. This is not funny.
I'm butthurt, man.
Okay?
Does that help?
No, it wasn't. Final Fantasy VII was such an accomplishment as an experience, okay? What that game did, and I know people are like, it's overrated. It's overrated.
I think that's just me who says that, actually.
No, there's a lot of people that say it, but what the hell does that, how can something be overrated? This was a game that literally redefined a genre for an entire Western culture. How do you overrate something like that? The fact that this game was able to do what it did with the shitty graphics, like I'm for its time, no, it had shitty graphics for its time. The cinematics, they were okay, but the graphics for this game were shitty. And the fact that this game was able to do what it did and still hold such a place in everyone's heart, then people say, oh, it wasn't that great. Then how the fuck do you justify the response at E3? This is not an overrated game. This game is rated exactly where it should be. And I think that for it to do that and for them to remake it is an insult to the original because it doesn't need a remake to do what it does.
Whoa, shots fired.
I will come across this room and I will squeeze the life out of you. I will piss down your...
Episode 1,
Wow.
first murder threat.
Wow.
You guys, you knew that you were opening this goddamn can of worms. Fuck all of you.
But see, to your point is all the reasons why, like, I think it deserves a
No, Nika, no. And look, that's not to say that it's not gonna be, that it's still gonna be a good game, or that I won't play it. I'll play the fucking shit out of it. It will be a great game, but it doesn't. It doesn't need to be done.
It does not need it.
It doesn't need to be done, and it's not even really how and how much of it is it really still gonna be? Like they're not just remaking it. You're not gonna get the same script. You're not gonna get like. They plan on redoing and updating it for, like, the current culture. And, like, is it really still the same game at that point? Why not slap different names on them, call things different places, and it could be Final Fantasy XVI. Why does it have to be a Final Fantasy VII remake? Why, Nika? Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. That's right. Because money. That's why.
No, I agree. I definitely think it's the point where they're like, our only, like, FF13 was dumb. Haters gonna hate. And the freaking 15 is yet to come out. 14 is their only source of income. We need more money. Let's drop an FF7 remake. Obviously, that's why they did it. But I feel like, yes, the game doesn't need a remake on its own. It's near and dear to everyone's heart. And, like, I was a person for a long time who were saying, like, we don't need a remake. However, if they make one, I'll buy it and play the shit out of it.
Well, of course I will.
They have a fine line they have to tread here. Like, they can make this. Like I said earlier, they can take all of the Final Fantasy VII collection, the expanded universe of FF7, the sequels, the spin-offs, and add that into FF7 and eliminate any of the loopholes and the story plot holes that have come up since the spin-off.
Here's the problem you run into,
if they do that right, they have the opportunity to make a beautiful game that connects the entire series in such a way that
But Nika,
it will make everyone's, like, heartfelt love for the game.
I want you to take a look.
Flower.
Take a look at classic RPGs like FF7, FF6, okay? Look at all of the extra side content that you have in those, and then compare them to something like FF13.
FF12 had a lot of side content.
It's not the same though. I mean, even FF12, what was most of the side content? The hunt shit, right? There is less content in games nowadays because they have to spend all that extra money developing graphics and developing stuff like that. They are not going to be able to have all the stuff in the remake that they had in the original. And you want and you want them to add more to it? It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Nika. We are going to be missing out on a lot of the stuff that they added in it that made it so great, that made...
Like what?
I enjoy that he can point at Nika and scream at her now.
It's true.
Like what? But specifically,
you think we're gonna be able to go into the Sunken Gel Nika in the new remake? That they're gonna take the time to put in all those nice, cool little things that you can go into under the water there? That we're gonna have the ancient force that you go into after defeating Ultima Weapon?
Why not?
You think that they're literally going to have everything in there?
Simply because this is like the fans are holding them to such a high standard.
I don't know about that.
I do like that they're bringing Tetsuya Nomura back on. Okay, the fact that they're bringing people that worked on the original on this one, that gives me a little bit of hope. But I'm sorry, I cannot maintain a positive outlook on this now. What that
rainbow should shoot out every time you open it.
Well,
I'm going to sever your hands, and I'm going to shove one down your throat and one up your ass. That's what I'm going to do. Don't test me right now.
Don't be shitty.
Don't test me, okay? Look, by maintaining a negative...
Wait and see what happens, because I think...
That's all I can do, obviously. Obviously, I can't go down there with pitchforks and fucking fire and, like, hold them to their word, can I? So, yes, I will wait and see what happens. But maintaining a negative outlook on this, if I expect the worst thing...
Beautiful fruits and flowers, you will eat them.
If I expect the most terrible thing I can think of, then when it comes out, maybe it won't be so bad. But until then... Just fuck everyone. Fuck all of you.
But like, Nika, do you think people really are holding them to like a super high standard?
Yes.
Or do you think that people will buy and play the shit out of any old piece of crap that comes out?
No, open this.
You had your soapbox.
You knew what was coming. You knew what was coming.
You had your soapbox. Just
you knew what was coming.
Let some other people have a turn.
If anything is different in a bad way, I think the fans are willing to accept a somewhat updated battle system and somewhat better translated
it's going to be
dialogue.
Realistic.
But I think if anything else is changed so much, like they eliminate part of the game that people like, or they change something in a way that kind of gets rid of that nostalgic love for the game, fans will flip. And I feel like that Square Enix knows that, and that's why they've waited so long until they had a machine with the capabilities to do that. So I think that it will be much, much better than you think, because they know that the fans are waiting and analyzing every little tiny thing that they do.
Again.
Deep down, you know they're exploiting us.
This isn't a case of will it be a good game or not. Obviously, it's going to be a good game. But is it really at that point going to be Final Fantasy VII? It's just...
Is there an example of a good remake?
The new Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. That was pretty much remade from the ground up.
Okay. If they took that treatment to FF7, would you be okay with it?
If it was just like someone mentions that this is a remake, not just remastering. If they were to just go back through it and give better updated models and stuff, it would literally just be a graphical update. But that's not needed. I don't think that they want to do this just doing that and doing what they're doing. It's such like... I just feel like this mountain is insurmountable to keep all this stuff they want to keep in it and still give it this. Guys, I'm breaking my brain here.
Poor Callow.
Oh, poor Robbie. Poor Robbie.
It's going to take some time.
Robbie, yes.
You're the only one who slipped up so far.
I know.
Get good.
I know.
People in the chat saying I look like Edward Norton from Birdman. I'll take it.
It's better than when I got the first time I appeared on camera. They said I looked like Willem Dafoe's corpse. That was the first thing someone said to me. I'm like, well, all right.
And for the record, to the people in chat calling me salty, this isn't just salt. All right, this has been a long time.
This has been a long time.
You guys don't even realize
this is like a volcano of salt.
This has been years of Nate and Chris just poking the bee's nest.
It has,
and now we win.
But Nika, you really do hold out a lot of faith here, don't you?
I do.
I really do. Just because I think that they know what the fans want, and this is why they've waited so long to do
The
this.
one time she's not negative Nika.
I'm not negative. You guys spin my words.
You're such a naysayer.
No.
You really are.
No, I am actually, believe it or not, an optimist. So please,
the one time that I was drawing us all as like anti-heroes, and you're like, "Why are you doing this? What's the point?"
Well, I wanted to know.
Because it's fun, Nika.
It's hard. What is the point ever?
If it was for fun, or if you were using it as a concept for something. I was genuinely curious. I wasn't trying to be negative. You guys are so mean. I still don't know why I'm doing a new show which kind of binds me even longer to you assholes.
You know what the answer is, Nika. You know what the answer is. You get paid for your participation in some of this stuff. That's why there's.
But now I do. What about the last 6 years?
Why'd she put up with all the harassment before then?
Stockholm syndrome.
Glutton for punishment, apparently.
Oh man. Okay. So look, there's definitely a lot of feelings here with the FF7 remake. I think back in our college days, I think I was way more in favor of an FF7 remake, and then as time went on and you expressed your point about how little it needs a remake, I think that I had gradually come to the other side. Also, you had mentioned, I think that one of the caveats that I had always said was if they made a 7 remake and they changed the battle system, I would not be terribly happy with that. And you said, of course, this was like one of our arguments, that of course if they remake it, they're going to remake the fucking battle system and it's going to be something terrible like 12, or you know what I mean?
And what did they do?
And that's exactly what they said.
Yeah. Battle system change.
Okay, 12 wasn't horrible, but we don't know exactly what they're going to do. I feel
they're
like
going to try and be new and innovative with it, and it's going to be fucking weird.
Ooh, they should have the paradigm system. I love that system.
I'm serious.
Here we go.
That's strike 2. Do not make me come over there.
Here we go, guys.
I will skull fuck you on camera. That will happen.
Whoa.
Check this out, guys. People like Dynasty Warriors, right?
Hey, they made a Zelda Dynasty Warrior, so
it's true.
Cloud Dynasty Warrior.
But my guess is that they're going to try to get away from turn-based because everyone says turn-based gaming is dead. But honestly, with something like FF7, which is turn-based, but it's active and you can spot people in and out, I think that would do well for something like FF7.
Bravely Default kicked ass.
I was just about to say,
Bravely Default kicked ass and everyone loved it.
I was going to say, obviously, people don't want classic RPGs with classic turn-based styles and stuff like that. I mean, look how hard Bravely Default tanked. It's not like they had a second one teased into the first one already.
But you know what? That was a 3DS game.
Sure.
And does the success of Bravely Default? Yes, I think that proves that there is still a market for that style of gameplay. But I think that it would be much more, like turn-based stuff. Really easy to do with a phone. Really easy to do with a platform.
I think it's nice on mobile because it's like, especially when you have the wait system, you can be in the car or something
Exactly.
and like play and then look up from it for a minute to like talk to someone. Whereas like if you're playing a console game, people nowadays want something more like immersive.
It not only showed that it was still a viable market. SE came out and said they were genuinely floored with how much Americans liked it.
What is the
and
fact
it's changed their outlook on us for it.
What does the fact that it's on a console or on a bigger screen have to do with that at all?
Because money developing it. I think that the amount of people that want turn-based style play is still small enough, or it has migrated away from that enough where you can't justify.
So you don't think they would have got away with putting that in the FF7 remake? That would have been the line people drew?
You can't, from a development standpoint, you can't justify expending the money it would take to develop the graphics, the assets, and all of those things, and then throw a combat system that is old, antiquated, and may or may not work. It worked for a 3DS game, and it worked for the amount of money that they threw at Bravely Default.
It worked in FF10 just fine.
Yeah, but we were still in the era. That was kind of the
end of it, though.
We were still in the era of turn-based role-playing games. We've clearly moved away from that, where most people, and especially younger people, their context when you say RPG is fucking Skyrim. You know what I mean? Ugh. It's Dragon Age. It's that kind of stuff. And I think
That was painful to hear.
you would have a really hard time. Now, of course, we've said that, Square Enix remaking FF7 is basically a way for them to print money. They're going to print money because anyone who played the original is going to buy it, whether they like it or not. They're going to buy it. They're going to play it. Anyone who's been exposed to any of the additional games, whether it's been the spin-off games, Crisis Core, not Advent Children, not a game, but like the additional media that sucked these people into the series, but can't play the donkey dick game. It just looks like fucking balls when you play it. There are some people who can't get past the graphics of that
I'm
game.
aware. They don't deserve to experience
But that's a second generation of people that are going to buy that game. Everyone is going to buy it, whether you want it, whether you like it, whether you think it's a good game or a good thing or a bad thing. Every single person is going to buy it. So Square Enix basically gets to print fucking money with that. If they, could they attach a turn-based system to it? Probably. They could probably get away with it. They'd probably receive some heat for it. But I don't think, based on the success of Bravely Default, that you can then draw the parallel to say you can throw all of that money and budget and assets at a turn-based AAA game. Because that happened in the 360 era. It was called Lost Odyssey. It was an amazing game, and nobody bought it.
True, but that was because Mistwalker had the names behind it, but besides that, you don't think that if Square Enix had put out Lost Odyssey as Final Fantasy, whatever it would have been, that it would have been huge?
Probably. I don't know.
Was it really the battle system that held back Lost Odyssey from being great?
No.
No, there's nothing that holds back Lost Odyssey from being great because it was a great fucking game.
Right.
The thing is that it didn't sell. I think people saw that it was a turn-based game, and that was the turnoff.
I don't
know. I thought Lost Odyssey's issue more came to a marketing thing. Like I didn't hear about Lost Odyssey until it was out. Pretty much.
I only heard about it through you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even have known who Mistwalker was.
Yeah. I always thought Lost Odyssey's big issue was marketing.
Yeah,
but I remember a lot of the marketing around Lost Odyssey because I remember the TV commercial used the song. It was a fucking Jefferson Airplane song. I still remember it. I would see it on Adult Swim, and I wasn't that tuned into who the fuck Mistwalker was, but I saw that trailer and I was like, I want to see what this game is all about, and then found out what it was after the fact and who was behind it after the fact. So I don't think that having Hironobu Sakaguchi attached to the project was necessarily its big selling point, but the fact that it was a modern style, it was a modern MMO with a full console RPG with AAA graphics that had an old style battle system. I think that was the selling point, and I think that's what people did not buy. No, I'm not saying that is the death that needs to be the definitive death of turn-based RPGs. Just because one game didn't do well, and I'm not saying that it even tanked, it just didn't do as well as they wanted to or needed it to.
It was supposed to be the next big thing.
And it didn't pan out like that.
Don't the Star Ocean games, they actually give you a difficulty setting at the beginning where you can choose the kind of combat that you do, and one of them's turn-based, isn't it?
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't think I've ever played a Star Ocean game, to be honest with you. Yeah, I know. What was the last one that you played?
That would be Till the End of Time, or the Last Hope, whatever.
The Xbox 360 one? Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Isn't Valkyrie Profile turn-based?
I don't know.
It could be. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, in terms of Square Enix, they've made so many decisions on changing the core of the series and pushing the battle system in different directions. I just don't see them going back to turn-based no matter how much I want it. They could justify saying, well, you can get your turn-based fix by playing Bravely Default because we're going to continue making those games.
And isn't it kind of like, though, if someone remade Banjo-Kazooie or something like that and they said it's not going to be a platformer this time? Like, what?
Well, isn't that how the Banjo Racing thing ended up coming out?
Oh yeah, that went over so well too.
Or maybe,
but that wasn't a remake. That wasn't a remake.
Of a different series.
No, you're thinking Nuts and Bolts, and you're absolutely right. And it was a gigundous bucket of balls. But my point is, like, they tried to do that was a sequel, not a remake. But if they remade the original Banjo-Kazooie, you would still expect it to have all the same mechanics, even though that kind of collectathon platformer has gone by the wayside. You'd expect it to still be that. Whereas if I replay Final Fantasy VII, if I do a remake of it, I would expect the original battle system.
That's
to
right.
be in it.
I would expect to be able to get finishing touch before I leave Midgard, before I get through Wall Market.
Dude, we should.
Yeah, I didn't beat that game, so I don't know what you're talking about, but I agree.
Final Fantasy Kart.
That'd be so great.
That would be.
I'm still looking forward to Square Enix's version of Super Smash Brothers.
Dude.
With just Final Fantasy characters.
Isn't that Dissidia?
The Dissidia.
No, an actual fighting
that
game.
was two. No, I'm talking about like
literally
Super
just a
Smash
reskin
Brothers.
of Smash Brothers.
But with Final Fantasy characters on Final Fantasy stages, not none of this like 360 up, down, left, right, back, and forward shit.
I am very curious.
Though.
What?
The city was a fantastic game.
I'm not saying that it wasn't, but it was also really complicated and disorienting for, I think, a huge generalized audience.
I think that that's legit, but I don't know. I don't know much about the new Dissidia arcade cabinet.
Yeah, that arcade game.
Other than that's awesome a thing, but it seems like they may have changed some of the mechanics of it. And if they did, I'm going to be very interested to see how it's changed. But yeah, no. Dissidia was a fine game. It's just not. I would not call it a fighting game.
It's more of a party game.
Really?
Dissidia?
This is Smash Bros. Reference.
I'm not in like a straight, not in like a straight fighting.
I mean,
game.
it's not like Street Fighter, but I feel like it's more like a Super Smash Brothers style. Like Super Smash Brothers to me does not feel like a fighting game. Like Super Smash Brothers has its like main attack, special attack, item attack. That's like what Dissidia was like. Then you had the
You know what? Call up Mike and have that conversation with him.
Well, and for again back to FF7 though, are we kind of thinking like? Are we worried that if it was a turn-based system, like it'd be these all-new graphics and everything, and then suddenly, random encounter, and now it's going to be like 2D top-down again with like an arrow pointing?
No, because
it doesn't have
I would
to be
actually like that.
Obviously, there are things that you can do and innovations that I'm sure they could come up with to make turn-based styles
You can
still
make it
seem
look nicer.
interesting and look nicer.
Yeah.
But here's
you don't have to have them lined up. Like they actually made a joke
They could
about
be
it
all around on
in,
the map
in
and-
one of the article. Like we're not just going to get these awesome graphics, then have Barrett, Cloud, and Tifa line up in a line, then take turns attacking each other.
Although I think that would
I want my little white glove to point at them again. Like if I don't have that, it's not a remake.
Well, they got to keep the menu sounds for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
If they change the menu sounds, they're going to be.
If I can't change the
be
backdrop of the text dialogue boxes to be my own color, it's not my Final Fantasy VII.
But yeah, no, it's
hashtag not my Final Fantasy VII.
I don't see any reason why you could not bring the turn-based system and just make it look nicer. It should be perfectly doable.
Yeah.
In
fact, you know what? This game could bring back turn-based styling, just like the original brought Eastern RPGs to the Western culture.
Exactly. You talked
They
about-
could redefine turn-based combat.
You really think so?
Oh,
you really think it has that kind of pull?
Yes, it has that
Does
kind of pull.
FF7 have that kind of pull?
Yes.
Did you just ask that?
Man, I don't know.
I hate FF7, and I know it has that kind of pull.
But we already know. Well, we already know the story. So what really has that pull? What really has that
We
pull?
already know the story, but like you said, there's a whole generation of people who have never touched it, who've never thought about touching it.
There are so many people that don't know that Aerith dies.
A whole nother...
Oops.
Unless you buy the DLC where she doesn't die. That's important to note.
Stop that.
Where she comes back.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Where she comes back
Yeah, you
at the last
can't.
second.
No longer you can't Game Shark her back anymore. You have to.
Game Sharking her back was so glitchy.
You have to pay
that's
$3.99.
No. Instead of Ares coming back, it's Lightning in Ares cosplay.
There you go. There you go.
Tifa dies instead of Aerith. That's how it is.
Stop it. Square Enix is going to do this shit.
They wouldn't do any of that simply because if Advent Children it's going to be their whole canon. If Advent Children is canon, Aerith will not be alive. Tifa will be. Don't even bullshit with that kind of stupid.
There's a whole generation of gamers who could have played it but didn't because of the donkey dick graphics.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that know all of the plot lines. I mean, like, but
There's
like,
you know what?
it's
Knowing plot lines and experiencing plot lines, especially now in high def, are going to be completely different things.
I don't know,
Nate,
man.
I
don't
absolutely
know.
love this that you've now barreled Robbie into defending the remake.
No,
I totally fucking Daffy Ducked him.
No, you didn't. Fuck you. This isn't about whether I've never had the oh my god.
Hey, Robbie.
Did I just blow your mind?
No, you didn't, because it's never been an argument of whether or not it'll be good. It's just been an argument of they don't fucking need to do it. But if they're gonna fucking do it, I swear to God, I swear to fucking Christ, I hate you guys.
Is it wabbit season or duck season?
Wow.
See you later, Elmer Fudd.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he just.
Oh my God, that cold air was so glorious for the one short moment that door was open.
For the one brief moment.
Bring it back.
He's not gonna be back.
All right, so wasn't he?
I just saw him
was he not?
Everyone's cameras like.
We coaxed a death threat and had one of our hosts quit on the first show.
I know we're off.
Good show.
We're off to a good start. So wasn't he reading the Sony stuff?
Oh crap! Sorry. Yeah, all right.
Well, we can't now. Well, now we're stuck. Now we can't continue on until he comes back.
Okay, so let's get some cool drops in here. How about this one? I've never been able to use this one yet.
It's like a trailer park Easter.
I've never been able to use that.
Or that would be a hard one to bring up.
I don't know how, but I'm determined to find a way.
You put that one on your bar. What were you thinking at that moment? Like, there's going to be a moment where this is going to fit and it's going to be great.
Need that one.
Dude, when you do finally use that one, you're going to just be able to stand up and drop your pants because we're just going to have to bow before you.
You guys need me back now?
We don't have anyone to read the Sony notes.
You were the one reading the Sony notes. You can't exactly leave when you're the one in the middle of reading things.
Really? Why don't you have Christoph read them?
Oh wait,
Christoph, you want to take the Sony notes?
Well, because everyone from Limit Break Radio knows what happens when Christoph reads things.
Okay. Well, you know what? I want an apology.
All right.
Nope.
No.
Christoph,
who do you want an apology?
Please read.
Who do you want an apology from?
I don't care who it's from.
If we're not the ones that made it happen.
I'm sorry you're bad.
Attention, Square Enix, I will have you know that Robbie demands an apology written to him with a photograph of the original Final Fantasy XIV characters.
You knew what you were doing, all right? You knew what you were doing.
We like to think Square Enix knew too.
You know, my question is there any way that we couldn't have talked about if you know, like
no, talking about it is fine. Talking about it is fine, but you guys are poking the fucking bear here.
No! All I said was, hey, let's talk about it, and then you said, okay, let me set the scene here, and then went off like a firework. Like, that's
like
what
a
happened.
Lunatic.
Jesus.
A lunatic Pandora.
Hey, don't say Lunatic Pandora, they might remake 8 next.
Still butthurt.
I don't know, an FF8 remake would be pretty cool.
Actually, it would. I would like an FF8 remake. There's some things in that game that could be ironed out.
Are we done?
We are. We're on to the next thing. We're waiting for you to read it. We are. We're waiting for you to read it.
I think we've burned that topic out. Good job.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3 gameplay trailer. Stop. Is cock full of combat.
No.
It's cock full of combat.
It is cock full of combat.
Would we expect any less? Like, this kind of goes back to the same comment you made about the Tomb Raider trailer. Like, did you expect to see a bunch of Marines like sitting around drinking mimosas?
Playing euchre?
Actually, I think that would be a much more interesting way to reveal that. Like, show a different side of the.
It would still be. It might start that way, but then something would explode, and like they'd be like Semtex playing cards or something, and it would still be full of combat.
As
Chris Pratt shows up with his like battle raptors.
What was the one Call of Duty character that wore the fucking mask? Was it Ghost? Yeah, you just have him just sitting around with a mimosa trying to drink it through the mask.
No, he has the mask pulled up Spider-Man style. Like just up over his nose, and he's drinking the mimosa.
And then a nuclear explosion in the background.
Project Morpheus goes multiplayer at E3 2015.
That shocked me.
Why?
Because everything they've shown about the Morpheus from up to now, which has not been much, whereas Microsoft's been showing off the HoloLens.
No, wait, real quick, what is the Morpheus?
The Morpheus is Sony's answer to the HoloLens and the Oculus. It's their 3D virtual reality peripheral.
Okay, great.
They have shown off very little in comparison to what Microsoft's been showing off about the HoloLens and what Oculus is showing off with the Oculus Rift. Mm-hmm. They have kept very quiet, very tight-lipped about what they've got going on, and now everything they have shown off has been single player. They went multiplayer at E3.
But why is that such a big surprise? With as much of a focus on multiplayer as there is in the gaming industry nowadays, I mean, like, role-playing games come out and they have multiplayer. And you think, like Mass Effect 3 having multiplayer. No, they did it in 2, didn't they? No, they didn't. It was just in 3. But everyone was like, wait, there's a multiplayer? Why does it need a multiplayer? It was fucking fantastic, by the way. But like that's the thing. Like everything needs multiplayer now.
I know, but just from the way they've talked about it and everything,
virtual reality, like that's obviously a very fucking logical step. Is being able to do this awesome ass shit with your friends.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just to show off that like, look, it's coming.
Yeah.
Here's.
I mean, I think it's more surprising because nobody knows what to expect right now.
It's just they've showed so little
that.
about
and from
the
what they've
Morpheus.
shown, none of it was going in that direction. So it's all kind of like, whoa.
Well, obviously,
okay.
from a business standpoint, if everyone else is just showing their single player stuff, again, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Too.
Well,
we're gonna one up them with fucking multiplayer.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the point was that they're like, yeah, everyone else is walking with their development, but look at where we're running.
Yeah.
Sure. I think that was the point in coming out.
It was just surprising me because it felt to me like Sony was way behind with the Morpheus because of how little they've shown. But instead, I'm like, oh no, they're well into this.
They pulled the wool over your eyes.
They did very well.
Callie, I think that's I agree. That's a very apt observation. I think I've noticed that as well. Is that leading up to this, it seemed like Sony was the one who was really lagging in this development,
right?
And now it seems as if they've pulled ahead.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. They've got way more than we thought they did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And good on Sony, man. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go.
Does Nintendo have one?
No.
The classic RPG series Shenmue has been revived on Kickstarter for PS4, which we talked about a little earlier.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit earlier. Again, really, really sketchy with the way.
Yeah, huge shitstorm.
Because if. I mean, on the one hand, I sort of understand them testing the water. On the other hand, it's shitty that they were like that they would have thrown the money at it if the Kickstarter hadn't blown up. But like, who thought that Kickstarter wasn't going to blow up anyway? You know what I mean? Like, who looked at like, oh, a new Shenmue game? Yeah, no one's going to fund that. Like why would that be the one? Like I'm pretty sure that
there was a $10,000 level that I think when I saw it was maxed out.
Wow.
Like there are dudes out there who was like $10,000 for this game. Fuck yeah.
I have
Which
we'd like to announce our new Patreon level.
I have to wonder though if if any of those people who gave to that Kickstarter, once they found out that Sony would have backed it anyway, if that really felt like how if that made them feel differently about how
kind
they spent
of a kick in the dick.
I feel like it is a kick in the dick.
Why did they even say that? I feel like
don't know.
Should have been kept a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Like even if that was the case, why would you say it?
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. I don't know what the circumstances.
They had this thought, like, because people were worried that if all the Kickstarter stretch goals weren't like met, then it wouldn't be as good of a game. So they had this idea, like, well, let's just reassure them that we had developers anyway that would have made the game great. And that did not pan out for them how they were hoping.
Yeah.
I feel like they had this idea that was going to work.
Well,
and it didn't.
I have only ever actually donated to one Kickstarter project, and that was a Roll20 app, which might be something we talk about on a different show because it's fucking amazing, right? Because that was something that when I saw it, like that's something that I desperately need in my life, and that the tabletop community in general could really fucking benefit from.
Sure.
I want to make this a reality.
And nobody's pushing it.
Right. Now,
there's not like a company out there that's pushing that development.
Now, had Sony been like, we're coming out with this new thing called Roll20, you can help support it. No, it's coming out.
Or what's the company that does Dungeons and Dragons? Is it Gynax?
Wizards of the
Wizards.
Coast.
Okay,
right. So if Wizards, which actually they were coming out with one, I don't know how good it actually was, but if it would have been coming out like this is coming. No matter what.
But let's say
I wouldn't have donated to it.
Okay.
I donated because this wasn't a guaranteed thing, and I wanted to contribute to make
sure. And that's what Kickstarter is supposed to be. It's supposed to help people who can't make the product themselves. That's what it's for.
But would it have changed? Would it have changed if Sony had said beforehand that they?
I don't think those dudes would have spent $10K on it. No,
you don't.
Think so.
You don't?
No.
I think it would have still been successful, but I don't think nearly.
I mean, yeah, because I definitely think that the interest would have been there. I think it still would have been successful. But
I don't think people would have thrown more than $10 or $20 at it, though.
There might have been some people. I mean, people throw more than $10 or $20 at us.
And this is what this sort of speaks to the point that Robbie was making, that if a Roll20 app that's being developed by an independent developer, that like this is probably some dude who's plugging this stuff in his free time in between his two jobs. It
absolutely is.
And you know what I mean? Like and so I think people are much more willing to support that in greater numbers at a greater like they're willing to throw more money at at it, then let's say if Wizards had done a Kickstarter themselves and said, "Hey, we want to make this thing," people would look at it and be like, "Yeah, but you're a business. How do you not have the overhead to be able to throw development money into that?" Like, I think that's what people are really sketched out about, is that, like, it at no point during the presentation at E3 did they say that Sony was attached to it. They made it seem like they were just bringing Yu Suzuki out on stage to plug his Kickstarter, when in reality, if it had fallen through, Sony would have picked up the check.
What if Square Enix tried to like kickstart FF16? We'd all be like, "Dude, you're gonna make FF16? Shut the hell up!"
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is a big deal. I think that is a very big deal, and definitely crosses an ethical boundary on Sony's line. Because, I agree. I don't think people would have given $10K to that project if they had known that Sony would have thrown their own money at it afterwards anyway.
And it is being pointed out that Kickstarter donation amounts can be changed until the cutoff day. So
yes,
maybe we can check in again and see, have people change their donation amounts in that news.
Yeah. Uncharted 4 shows off some serious gameplay in a heated car chase.
Serious gameplay.
I was thinking about just very quietly removing chase off of the end of this outline.
Serious gameplay in a heated car.
In a heated car.
And we're showing off some serious gameplay in a heated room.
I kind of wish you would have, just to see if I would have filled in car chase automatically.
have a Ron Burgundy moment there. The Uncharted 4 stuff looks really cool. The only Uncharted stuff that I've ever played was Golden something or other on the Vita, and I liked it. And I've always meant to go back and play the Uncharted series. I have a couple of them on my PlayStation account. I've never really had the time to sink into it. So
one of those series that's really, really good, but it's so short. So it's like, if you're dropping $60 for like 8 hours of gameplay, it's like,
wow. Well, actually, maybe I could.
It's very, very, very fast.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And they don't really release like expanded scenario DLCs, not many anyway. And so
I spent more time than that.
We're gonna wait until it's like $30 to buy it, I think, just because it's a great game, but not worth $60, sadly.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, Uncharted has those diehard fans though that are just like, that's their game. It's the game that they love.
Games.
Well, yeah,
and Drake,
and they've got, of course, the great presentation and the cinematic quality. Like that's what
You're like playing an action movie. That's what
it's like playing an Indiana Jones movie. That's the way. Yeah. That's the way that somebody had described it to me early on. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And Nathan Drake's a pretty cool character as well. So it's something that I've meant to spend time with, but I've never really gotten around to. But knowing that it's only like an 8-hour investment to get through one of those, maybe I'll be a little 15. Bit more willing.
I mean, it's not super long at all.
Right. So that's the major Sony announcements, and I sort of feel, like Sony. A lot of people said that Sony won the conference. I kind of agree that Sony had the best announcements out of there.
My favorite image that has come out of all of this was the giant Buster Sword that's like impaled the Xbox, and the Buster Sword said Sony on
Except it will come out on Xbox eventually, right? So it's not like...
I don't know.
I mean, they said it's being released on PS4 first.
Yeah.
But I do believe it is coming to Xbox eventually.
Okay.
Time will tell.
I don't know. They didn't clarify that. So
should we have our resident Nintendo fanboy read the Nintendo stuff?
Yeah, let's go to the part that everyone actually cares about, the games. Nintendo, the first Star Fox Zero footage finally justifies the Wii U gamepad.
Finally.
What are they
4 years later?
I don't know why that's there. Like, I feel like the gamepad by itself was good enough to like be warranted.
But I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
it's very super clunky for not a lot of usage in most games.
It's superfluous for 90% of the games, and even then, the only time that you use it to any kind of like usefulness. It's when you're playing multiplayer.
The few times that I've had to dabble around with your Wii U, like I'm looking at this thing, I'm just like, well, why you be?
It's like you got a tablet while you're playing a game.
But why?
For like maps and shit. That's the game developer's job.
Okay, no, actually, you know what? Monster Hunter. You got a lot of cool stuff on the display from Monster Hunter. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
But
most of the time, no.
It's just shoehorning shit in, though. It's like it's not like an integral part of the game.
I used my Game Boy Advance for a map when I played Crystal Chronicles. Remember that? That worked.
But nobody's developing for the fucking system anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the gamepad. It's because the specs on it are fucking terrible, and it's like 4 years old at this point.
Hey, Wii U is next. When the Wii U came out, I didn't even realize it was a new console.
I know.
I thought it was like the Kinect for it was just a little add-on thing that you added to your Wii.
Yeah, you know
People
what?
thought it was a controller.
You weren't alone. Everyone thought it was not a new console.
I remember walking into Chris's room one day, like when he had the Wii U and stuff, and I don't even know how I twigged to it, but I'm just like, oh, the Wii U is a new console, and this is like 2 years after the fact.
It is a new console. Yes, it's a council of elders.
Council.
It is a body that makes decisions.
Does government stuff.
Yes,
government stuff.
Brand new council.
I love Jeff.
All right, well, cool. You can do barrel rolls with your fucking tablet now. Great.
Yeah.
So, what makes the tablet clutch, though? I mean, like, what is it? What is the functionality of it?
I could see it being cool in like Zelda with being able
know.
to use maps and change your items and stuff in your equips pretty quickly. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Do you even play Star Fox?
I used to.
All right, but
on the 64. I was going to say that's the last time any of us have ever played it.
Hold on, Nika. Here's the question for it, though. It says that it justifies the use of the Wii U gamepad. Things like inventory and map that can go on your screen. You don't
then
need.
It's like a pain to just pause the
it makes
game.
it more active and quicker combat, though. If you don't have to
but
pause
would
the
you
game to
say?
open your screen.
But I don't think you would go so far as to say that justifies having it.
Maybe it gives you like your first person aiming on the video screen. I don't know.
What if we just
or you could just play it
click on
like
this
a
thing and
DS and just lay back on the couch and look at your.
I'm not trying to justify this shitty ass system. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here. I'm paid for my opinion, crappy as it may be.
Is that what we pay him for?
Unfortunately, yes.
That doesn't seem right at all. We're going to have to go back over his contract.
I like how Nintendo has
I'm signed on for years, man. Sorry.
Has 4 bullet points on our little outline, and everyone else has like 8 and 10, which includes like actual game developers.
Okay, so here's the actual quote. The space adventure feels like the good old days of Star Fox with a lot of added functionality. The Wii U gamepad is being utilized as it was meant to be, doubling as a virtual cockpit, giving players added control over the third-person world. So that's basically the functionality that's coming with it.
That read to me like we're sorry for that garbage port on the GameCube of Star Fox. God.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. Well, Nintendo announces a new Zelda and Metroid game for the 3DS.
There's a shocker.
So, more money for Nintendo.
But no news about the big open world Zelda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, again, Nintendo doesn't have the same emphasis on E3 that other companies do. They hold a lot of their own like private press events throughout the year.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they had like some kind of video presentation. I don't think they even had some they didn't have much of a stage presentation. No. I didn't even watch it at all. Yeah. So that's how terrible I am. But I've been completely checked out of Nintendo since the last system that I bought new when it was current was N64, and then it was like I only bought a GameCube. What was it, like 5 or 6 years ago to be able to play? You
wanted to play Pikmin, didn't you?
No, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I wanted to see. I wanted to see if the hate that it got was really deserved, and no, it's really not. Metal Gear,
Iron Gear, Robot, Tungsten Gear,
Alloy Dildo,
Metal Gear, Dildo.
What is going on?
Was that something you guys rehearsed? Or?
No. We're going to be releasing that as a ringtone.
Yeah.
in our fan pack when it comes out for the Final Encounter cast.
But again, a new Zelda game, a new Metroid game for the 3DS. I mean, like, come on, it just seems like so underwhelming.
What? No, people love the 3DS.
But I don't know. Like, it seems like they just shit out Zelda games on portable
Majora's
systems.
Mask 3DS was pretty amazing.
Sell.
I enjoyed that.
What does that say about the company though? That like your main focus, or I guess not maybe
our main seller is a 3DS is the portable.
As fans, our biggest love from them is their handheld game.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that because look at Sony who tries to do a handheld and a few people buy it, but Nintendo's really got a kind of almost a monopoly on the handheld market.
I've always wished that Nintendo would just abandon their consoles and just go full on into the handhelds.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably what they're going to do eventually. If they're, I mean, because they
will
can't.
There be another console after Wii U? I somehow doubt it.
Well, there is talks that one is being developed, but I just don't think it's the smartest business strategy for Nintendo at this point. I think that Nintendo should probably cut their losses in the hardware department, except for portable, and then just focus the development on their IPs and put those games out
and let real game developers make us a Legend of Zelda.
No, not even take that out of... don't even take that out of Nintendo's hands, but just, have... I think a world in which Nintendo is developing games for Microsoft and Sony consoles is a pretty cool world. I would be able to get back into Nintendo IPs that I've walked away from for years, like Zelda, like Mario, and I'd be able to check back into them. As it stands, I'm completely checked out of Zelda, and I'd love to go back and replay it, but there's such a wealth of games. I've been checked out since Majora's Mask, man. I'd have to get 15 portable games, and then
I play all the three
console games,
and they're all fantastic.
So
I'm just saying, take a company like BioWare or Bethesda or Square Enix,
Grimdark Zelda,
and imagine what a Zelda from them would look like. Come on, that'd be pretty amazing.
Well, I think if Nintendo can let go of their this whole idea that they have to push new control schemes in the gaming industry with motion controls and stuff like that, if they stop going in that direction with it and go back to our games still actually function on a goddamn controller, then yeah, why not? Why couldn't you put out a Nintendo game on a Sony product?
Developers are moving away from the controller and moving more towards the on-screen controls and virtual reality shit.
That is true, and that's when you start getting into mobile development. If you're only developing for your platform, Nintendo still only develops for Nintendo stuff, so they're only developing for the Wii U and the 3DS anyway. If they said, okay, we're going to start developing software for multiple platforms, they could develop stuff for mobile, they could develop stuff for for consoles, and be able to deliver higher graphical power and a better distribution rate for their games. As it is, the only people that can play Nintendo games and can buy Nintendo games are people who own Nintendo stuff. You have to be invested in the company. But if your hardware isn't selling that well, if your console hardware is not selling that well, and let's face it, the Wii U is not selling. It has never sold well. The only time that sales picked up at all was after Smash Brothers. That's it. And Smash Brothers, it was a great version of Smash Brothers, but that's, you're not going to sell the system.
Base your business plan around that.
You're not going to sell the system with that. And what's come out since Smash Brothers to sell the system?
Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
Fucking nothing.
Smash Brothers DLC.
Zelda Warriors.
Fucking
Warriors.
Nothing. Oh, okay, yeah, Dynasty Warriors with fucking Zelda graphics. Great. Fucking nothing. There's nothing for the system. So if you're going to abandon the system, if you're going to abandon consoles, do what Sega did. Sega started developing for other platforms. Develop your IPs for other platforms, but stay competitive in the handheld mobile market, because that is where they're succeeding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And for those of you who hate money, Skylanders and Amiibo are coming together as one.
Oh, God.
But how are they... what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't really understand.
I already thought that Amiibo was the Mario version of
Skylanders? It is exactly that.
Of Skylanders.
Yeah. So, how does that work exactly?
I assume
they're two different games.
They're going to have a crossover,
And
I
there's
guess?
also the Disney universe. That's pretty much Skylanders for Disney. Are they just going to merge all the things? I don't know.
Is Disney Infinity and fucking Skylanders going to become one game now?
No, those are basically competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amiibo is the Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which
are used for
How can we get more money
really.
out of this?
But I mean,
Sell them together.
what it says is that some of the upcoming amiibos will also work as Skylanders.
Oh,
and they're
okay, all
crossing
right,
over.
that makes sense. And so you can now use your amiibos in Skylander.
And you could probably use Skylanders in Smash too. I would assume they would
No.
make some crossovers or something.
No, they're not doing
There you go, fucking 5-year-olds. You get your little piece of news there.
For all you
Congratulations.
fucking 5-year-olds listening to our show.
Stupid fucking 5-year-olds.
Stupid kids.
There's gonna be like a dad that's listening to this. He's gonna look over his 5-year-old and be like, "Yeah, you little bastard."
Well, no, I mean, really, it is. Adults have been going fucking apeshit for the goddamn amiibos. So, I mean, like, I don't get any of that
I don't
trend.
understand it. I looked at them, and the quality of the figures are not that good.
They really aren't. It's really
their
bad.
faces are all distorted and weird, and I'm like, why are you racing and like trampling over people to get these? They're not that good.
Because they're rare. Nintendo doesn't ship out as many as they need. Like, each GameStop gets like 3 Wario figures.
does their
So
rarity
now
justify
Wario's worth
poor
like
quality,
$50
though?
on eBay. It's
No.
ridiculous.
Yeah, you know what? Poor quality doesn't matter when it's a sought-after item. Like, it can look really, really shitty, but if there's only 2 of
But
them
I
in the
wanna know
world,
why it's
but if
sought
there's
after if
I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me, damn it! It doesn't matter if it's low quality. If there's only 3 of them in the world, they're gonna pay money out the ass for them.
But why do you want it?
To have, to have, Nika.
Just to have it.
To
Okay.
have.
That's
This is
not
why
just-
you're negative, Nika.
Gosh.
No, I am practical. I am not negative. There's a difference between practical and realism and negativity.
Okay, honey.
Big difference.
Sure.
Can we talk about a game company that
Did
matters?
Nika just curse?
Oh my god, did I?
She kind of whispered it, though. It doesn't count.
Dun, dun, dun.
Can we talk about a game company that matters?
Hold
for a
on.
while?
I get one more bullet point.
No, that's not even a thing. No one cares.
More news on Nintendo NX due in 2016.
What is Nintendo NX?
I guess I assume it's the next console.
I believe it is.
Great. All right.
Maybe they should
Square
call it
Enix.
They call it the Wii U again.
It is
or something like
Yeah, it is the next console.
All right, Square Enix. Just Cause 3 starts unleashing chaos in December.
I loved Just Cause. I love the Just
I
Cause
haven't
series.
played any of those.
I did not play the first one. I have it on Steam, but I played the absolute shit out of the second one, and it was like all of the best destructive elements of Grand Theft Auto, open world elements of Grand Theft Auto, you know, taking cars and shooting stuff, blowing stuff up. It was great. I fucking love that game.
But Nate, what's the point?
To blow stuff up.
Just cause?
Games like Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. I don't see a point in those games either.
No,
they have story.
There is a story,
but
there.
nobody plays them.
Nobody plays it for the story.
Just Cause story greater than Grand Theft Auto.
He doesn't know what
right.
Grand Theft Auto stories are because he never
Good,
plays
because
them.
Grand Theft Auto
No,
makes no sense.
Well, I spend more time like getting distracted by murdering people in Grand Theft Auto. It's not that I don't do the story; it just takes me a very long time to do the story. But obviously, Grand Theft Auto has a way better story, way better presentation, way better narrative than Just Cause ever did. I can't speak for 3, but the thing is that Just Cause, the great thing was not all the story elements; it was the gameplay. It was way more streamlined. In the same way, I think in the same way that people really liked Saints Row when it came out, where it was just all of that like chaotic carjacking violence that was so awesome about that. The reason people like Just Cause is the same thing. But the other thing is that like if you really are curious about Just Cause 2, just go download the demo off of the Xbox Marketplace, or I think they probably still have it on PlayStation 3's the PSN, because most people, they just downloaded the demo and there was enough that you could do in the demo that you basically have the entire game.
Game.
Yeah. You'll be able to be satiated for what the entire game gives you if you just check out the demo, which was they identified that as a huge part of the problem.
Is satiated a word, or are you looking for sated?
Satiated is a word.
Satiated is a word?
Yes, yeah. Nika was the satiated or unsatiable.
No, it's insatiable is the opposite of satiable.
Yeah.
Okay, I think they're adding an extra syllable in there. Satiated?
No,
that's right.
No.
All right, whatever.
So, yeah, Just Cause 3 is going to be excellent.
Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay trailer.
Yay!
I'm not gonna lie. Look, I love Kingdom Hearts.
They're only on 3. Hold on.
Well, hold on. Now,
whoa.
We're not counting.
I remember watching.
Stop! Just don't. Don't open this can of worms.
I remember Robbie playing Kingdom Hearts 2 in college.
Yeah.
It's like 7 years later.
Right.
No,
Between there, they've released.
Kingdom Hearts 1 was in high school. Kingdom Hearts 2 was not.
It was college. It was college. It was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. The thing is, between
freshman year.
between then and now, they've been supplementing everyone with fucking handheld versions.
Handheld games, yes.
But to be fair, most of the handheld versions are very good.
Very good, and they added to the
Recoded was
canon.
Not as good, but the rest of them are fantastic.
What was the
games.
one that had the card battle based system?
That was the bad one.
Chain of Memories?
That ruined it for me. I tried playing that, and I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm done.
Actually, Chain of Memories was fun, but they re-released it on PS2. But I think they still kept the card battle in. I thought it was interesting. It required more tactical thinking, and you got to combine cards and make them stronger. I had fun with it.
All right. Well, anyway, the trailer looked cool, but I feel like I'm completely underwhelmed because a lot of the gameplay looks exactly the same, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But
why did it take 7 years to get out if it was the same?
The gameplay is fine. I mean, I like the gameplay the way that it was, but I feel like I wish they would have shown more than just gameplay.
Well, they only showed 1 minute of gameplay.
Yeah,
also, which
they
wasn't a whole lot.
didn't show much at all.
And my initial reasoning, Chris, was that it was the same team that was working on Versus 13, so I kind of gave them a pass for working on Kingdom Hearts 3, and look what that turned out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
that was their original excuse is like, right now we're focusing on Versus 13, we'll get to Kingdom Hearts 3 later, and then... And then
it became,
what I did like about it though is how in the little bit of cutscene that we do get in it, the two characters talking about like the wars and like how they're sort of setting up this legacy of the Keyblades thing. I think that is like a really cool narrative point.
Yeah, and I think it's easily gonna tie into to Birth by Sleep because it kind of sets up the whole entire premise.
Oh no,
I
hope they don't tie in. I hope they don't tie into the handheld games. I played.
Oh no! The handheld games are really, really, really intrinsically tied to that storyline.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they really are good. Like
they
Birth
add
by
a
Sleep
lot.
sets up the entire premise for what the Keyblade is and where it comes
All
from.
right, I'll Wikipedia
and
that shit.
Dream Drop Distance kind of brings that back from like it takes the villain without.
Am I the only one that thinks a Keyblade is the most fucking retarded weapon in the world?
Absolutely, I'm so with you on that.
Thank you.
The most recent Kingdom Hearts game kind of says, "Hey, this evil villain from the past is now here, and it fucks up the present, and because of that, Kingdom Hearts 3 is born." And so it's gonna all tie together in Kingdom Hearts 3, and it makes a lot of sense.
And really, if I know you just said you were going to Wikipedia for the storyline. I'm going to throw this out there for everyone. I'm pretty sure it was Game Trailers did a absolutely really awesome summation of
all the story stuff that you would need to know.
Everything.
Cool.
They go super deep into it. It's like an hour long, and it feels. You know what it feels like? It feels like one of those old History Channel documentaries, like
awesome.
mid 2000s. You know what I mean? And except about Nazis, it's just about Kingdom Hearts.
That's pretty cool.
It's really good. It's really well done.
I'll look into that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the most important thing is, will Kingdom Hearts 3 have a 2-hour tutorial system? Because that's why I think the Kingdom Hearts series is missing.
You need more tutorial, really?
Yes, we need more of it.
If you need more tutorial, you can go play
Kingdom Hearts
FF13.
battle system is pretty simple, though.
First 8 hours is nothing but a tutorial.
That's kind of fun, though.
But
Kingdom Hearts 2 is like jumping on buildings trying to find ice cream.
I like ice cream.
And get jobs to buy ice cream.
Can I? I'm
dreaming about ice cream.
Gonna say
everything is about ice cream.
I'm gonna throw
so
this.
358 Days Over too. That's all about ice cream too.
Damn it!
What do you have against ice cream?
Is that like a big narrative device?
Ice cream?
Yeah. All I know about Kingdom Hearts 2 is there's ice cream.
A big narrative device of Kingdom Hearts is friendship, and there were characters who like bonded over the time they got to eat ice cream, and then when they like all split apart and like go off and half die or whatever, like they can't eat ice cream anymore, and it's sad. Okay, so
it's about fucking ice cream.
It's a thing, and it's feels.
It's a game about fucking ice cream.
Let me have that.
God damn it. This is why I've never spent any time with the Kingdom Hearts series at all.
The only theme is friendship and love, and if that bothers you, then yeah, you wouldn't want to. But
does friendship and love bother you, Nate?
Do you not know him?
Yes.
It's all
just
about the
met
heart and the feeling, and not succumbing to darkness.
I've never been a big fan. I've never been a fan of the Kingdom Hearts games. I play
it for the fan service. I'm not gonna lie. I play it so that I can see, like my favorite Final Fantasy characters. And in Kingdom Hearts 3, aren't they including Marvel characters now too because they're part of Disney?
Oh my!
I hope so.
Yes.
And
Fuck yes.
if anything,
Star Wars too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Nika brought. If we're going full Disney canon, that can include Star Wars too. But I think that would get really.
Pirates of the Caribbean, they can include Star Wars.
Oh my god!
I think one of the things that was confirmed out of that trailer is that that there's going to be a Rapunzel world in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Never mind, I'll play it. I'm
there
playing it.
What? Come on.
I'm gonna guess. They can't not do Frozen.
You have all
They
these
can't
amazing
not do
properties
Frozen. How
to
they
choose
wanted to
from
do
now.
Frozen, but they didn't.
You have all these awesome properties you can choose from now. You could be like battling fucking Venom and like teaming up with Star-Lord and the Guardians, and you're gonna send us to fucking Rapunzel
Robbie,
land?
you shut your fucking mouth.
Are you fucking kidding
Tangled
me?
is one of the best movies made in the last 20 years. You shut
Son
your
of a
mouth.
bitch.
Great movie.
I love
Frozen.
Tangled.
Yeah, fine, great
You shut
movie,
your
but
mouth,
when
too.
it comes to a fucking action video game, really?
I bet she'd have ice powers, Elsa.
To be fair, I stopped playing the first Kingdom Hearts after Halloween Town because they expected me to go from Halloween Town to Never Never Land, and that's fucking bullshit.
What do you have against Peter Pan, dude?
After Halloween Town?
Land that threw me off in that one. Winnie the Pooh Land was the worst.
I think that they're going to stay inside of the Disney canon. I don't think they're going to bring in Marvel. I don't think they're going to bring in Star Wars. I don't see it. Those are two way big properties on their own right.
Bring in, I know Pirates of the Caribbean was initially Disney, but it's also like real life actors and characters, and I feel like Star Wars would fit right in with that.
Yeah, plus one of the big rumors, like one of the details behind it being delayed again, was because they wanted to start including Marvel characters in it.
Interesting.
We'll see.
As long as I can fight with Elsa, that's all I really care about.
Shut up, Christoph.
No. God damn it.
Let it go.
Everyone knows that you only want to be called Christoph because of that movie.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good secondary reason.
A secondary reason. No, that's the primary reason. Let's not lie. Don't lie.
All right, guys. Hitman takes the series back to basics. Did you know that I bought the collection and still haven't fucking played it?
That's not surprising. I think it was super cheap on the Steam sale, right?
I actually think I got it off of Amazon for $10. The entire collection.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big thing that I was a fan of. Oh, also, by the way, we had mentioned this kind of earlier, but FF7 is getting a release on iPhone and iPad this summer.
Let's talk about the remake a little bit.
No,
I will kill it. You know what?
not.
You know what? Teabagging you in your sleep tonight. It's happening.
past that.
Oh, what?
Goodness gracious.
Don't go to sleep.
From Ubisoft, The Division is releasing next year. No, really.
It's coming, guys.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's on its way.
Promise.
The dragons are coming.
What's better than a new Assassin's Creed Syndicate trailer? 2 Assassin's Creed Syndicate
come on,
trailers.
Arkham Knight. Ubisoft's releasing 2 of them now. You can't get one right.
Ubisoft, I swear.
But
They
Assassin's Creed, even like they're always glitchy and buggy on release. Though
They are.
Like, did you see what was the last one that came out? Unity, when people had like black holes in their faces and shit like that.
Yep.
Like Assassin's Creed is doing it, but they're not doing it right either.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not doing it right, and I actually think that they've oversaturated for the Assassin's Creed brand name.
I actually agree at this point.
I think people have sort of reached critical mass with it and are just sort of tuning it out at this point.
I have Black
I know
Flag,
one person
never
who's
played
super
it.
into it, and everyone else is like, nope.
Still haven't played Black Flag.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
And that's like 3 old now, right?
Yeah, I bought Black Flag. I paid $10 to upgrade it to PS4 and haven't touched it, and that's the last one I bought.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's pretty indicative of just like we're just done. I don't know. I just think people have had enough of the like we're used to development times that take like 2-3 years in between titles and sequels, and it's just like every fucking year there's another Assassin's Creed title, and it sucks.
It does.
Like they've been getting progressively worse and worse.
Initial story, like tying in with the characters in the real world, like how they go back and forth between the timelines and things like that. But after Assassin's Creed 3, they're just like, nope, it's all just about prettiness and more of the same.
Well,
and they had so much potential to expand on that story after Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, I was waiting till they got caught up to the present, and I'm like, that's going to be so fucking cool.
Yeah, and then they just kind of
shit the bed.
They just decided to go for more quantity over quality. And
Yeah. Well, and I'm gonna echo Yahtzee's sentiment from Zero Punctuation, and it's that it just seems like with every iteration of Assassin's Creed games, we get farther and farther away from just stabbing a fucking guy. Like, what happened to this game being about stabbing a fucking guy and not resource management and having to run a store or build a ship or some of this other shit? Like, get all of that shit out of here and let me just stab someone in the fucking neck. Like, why is that so hard? I don't want to have to. Like, that was what was so great about the first Assassin's
Double
Creed
assassinations.
game. No, money didn't mean anything. You didn't have to upgrade shit. You had to worry about killing a guy. That's it.
Yeah. It's all about motherfuckers killing other motherfuckers.
Why not? Like, I think that's what the game was best at, and then throwing all this other shit on top of it is super superfluous and boring.
Ghost Recon's long naps coming to an end with Wildlands.
That looked really sweet.
Yep.
I'm not really into the whole Tom Clancy stuff, but both Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six looked like they were going to do some very, very cool things.
Rainbow Six was actually my first shooter game that I remember playing.
Is that right?
Yeah, like for the N64, I played Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and I loved it.
So, I mean, we've seen a lot about Rainbow Six Siege. The trailer revealed that there's going to be a beta. Like the beta's coming up here pretty soon. Did it get you at all any more interested? I know, like Matt Pat from Game Theory did an entire episode where they like went in with a breach team of like a SWAT breach team, and talked a lot about the way that the game functions, and choosing where you breach is really going to be an important thing. Like, how tuned into this new Rainbow Six Siege are you?
It's cool, and it looked really good at E3. My biggest issue with Rainbow Six is after that first one that I played on N64, I didn't like any of the other ones that came out, and I haven't liked them for so long now that when I hear Rainbow Six, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. There's another one coming out.
Okay.
But, like, this one, I'll admit, I thought the E3 demonstration looked really good.
Yeah. Well, that one's pretty close to out. Like, that one, I think, is... I don't know what the release date is or what the beta is. Let me see if I can bring that up. But it really does look really awesome. It's probably, one of the better... looking like right on the edge of release games that I've seen. So pretty impressive there. And they were showing off a lot of gameplay footage on there. I think they had somebody doing a playthrough live on stage. Very, very cool stuff. September 24th is when the beta starts on that, and then the official release is October 13th. So pretty much right around the corner there. So got to see a lot more of that, and very cool. Nice. So Bethesda actually had their very first E3 conference. This was the very first time that they've had their own conference out at E3, and got a lot of attention. A lot of people said that Bethesda had some of the best, software-only presentations in terms of the big presentations that we saw out at E3. Doom got a big gameplay trailer that looks fucking awesome. Like, did anyone else see this Doom, the Doom trailer?
It looked good. Like, Doom is another one of those series where it's just been so long since anything super awesome for it has come out.
Right.
Like,
when was the last one? Doom 64?
Yeah. Well, and you know what people remember from Doom
3.
People remember from Doom, that crappy movie with The Rock. That's what people remember of Doom right now.
To be fair, though, The Rock.
Well, I remember, dude. There was a point in time where Doom 3 was like the graphics powerhouse, and like that was the game that you pick, if you built a new computer, that was the game that you picked up to be able to test your graphics.
Like, I never played Doom myself, but that, like, my memory of Doom is like what made me interested in games, because my dad was actually a PC gamer and he played Doom, and I would sit every day with my eyes glued to his screen just watching him play Doom 1 and 2.
I remember the final boss of Doom 2.
That's awesome. That's really sweet.
And like that's kind of why I was like, I want to play these, and I'd watched him play like Diablo 1 and all of these games, and that's kind of where I decided I want to play games too.
And
so my memory of that is like Doom. I'm thinking of like, just like boxy mazes where you like turn left and right, and like that's all my mind Doom kind of is.
I think more. I played Doom 1 and 2 when I was young, but I got most into Doom 3, and I always remember the jump scares and you had to manage having the flashlight or having your gun. You couldn't have them out at the same time.
Final boss in Doom 2, Icon of Sin, that was scary as shit when you were a kid.
Yeah. Definitely, but going back to hell with Doom looks fucking sweet. Can't wait. I'll definitely check it out. Official Dishonored 2 trailer showed off, and
really excited for Dishonored 2.
Has a sneaky new female protagonist. Did you play the first?
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Have you not?
I own it, and I played through I played through Okay, so when I played Dishonored, I was working at GameStop at the time, and GameStop has this policy where you can take a game home for like 2 days, and then you got to bring it back. So I had exactly 2 days. 2 days to hang out.
I'm going to let you borrow my Dishonored, or you can get yourself. Doesn't matter.
I have it. I think I have it on PSN at this point.
Actually, look into playing it, because it's basically it takes the best of Assassin's Creed and the best of like BioShock and other first-person shooters, and like mixes them into like a cool, explorable sort of open world.
Yeah,
it's all about sneaking around and stabbing dudes.
I've got it on Steam now, and I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, no, it is a lot of fucking fun, and the story's actually pretty good too. Like, there's actually a really big plot twist that I didn't see coming, and pissed me the fuck off.
The thing
they did it double blind, so you better look out.
You know, the thing that always really struck me about Dishonored when I was playing it was that the graphics were such that it looked like you were playing a painting, not a game. I mean, like it had like some kind of like flair or element, or just like
you ever play Time Splitters?
Yeah,
that had a very distinctive art style to it.
Yeah.
That you know, it wasn't made to necessarily look realistic, but yeah, it kind of had a cartooniness to it.
Right.
But I mean, that's pretty easy to get over.
So yeah, new Dishonored 2 female protagonist looked really cool. The trailer that they showed off, for some reason it reminded me a lot of like V for Vendetta in terms of like what they're setting up narratively.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm super into it there. Fallout 4 will ship with the coolest special edition gadget ever, and I think
Pip-Boy, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, it's its own Pip-Boy
that you can like put your smartphone into. Is that right, or is that someone else that I'm thinking of?
That might be a different thing. Like someone made like a
it
homebrew.
works with your Android and iPhone.
Wow.
Yeah, because I saw an article about how certain like larger phones won't fit into it, but I didn't know if that was a different thing or not. But yeah,
I don't know, it says you can put it on your wrist and it shows you features from the game, and it's like a second screen kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing that I was thinking of was somebody else had made an actual Pip-Boy using a Raspberry Pi, so I didn't know if that's what you were thinking of. But yeah, that's it's like a never mind.
It's already sold out. Great.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. That is one of the better like special edition box things that I've ever seen anyone try to pull off. Like, I'm super impressed with that. So let's see. It's official Fallout 4 release date, November 10th. Wow, that seems really soon.
Coming up.
That seems really soon, right? Like, I'm not the only one that...
Gonna need to rob a bank and quit my job. I want to play all this shit. Or win the lottery. Oh, I need to check my ticket.
Or this has to take, like, a ton of people have to watch us
or
do
this. Or we wake up in this.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, stuff from EA. Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, Mass Effect.
I'm not as excited about this as I wish I was, because all we got was a trailer.
Okay.
The trailer looks awesome. That I don't know, just watching the trailer.
I was so underwhelmed.
I didn't know what
to
expect watching it, because all we knew so far was like, there's going to be a Mass Effect game.
Okay,
like,
and now you know that it's going to be Mass Effect. That's really all it's shown.
No, I know, but when we were talking about having that very like particular sci-fi feel that Mass Effect like gives to us, watching the trailer, I felt that again.
Oh, great!
And
so it reinforced you that yes, Mass Effect is going to be Mass Effect.
Yeah, and so but I kind of felt that, like, this is going to be a good, like, up until now, I was like, it's not going to be about Shepard, it's going to suck, but, like, just seeing the trailer, I was kind of like, okay, this feels like Mass Effect, I can accept this as a game.
You are so easily...
Maybe. I mean,
excited.
like I said, I'm an optimist, I'm not a negative person. This isn't about being negative. I know that BioWare is going to deliver a fucking fantastic game. No doubt about it, right? The Mass Effect, like, even with the whole... ending debacle, I fucking loved Mass Effect 3. I love all of them, right?
Right.
They cannot disappoint with their final product. I just wish we would have got to see more than what I already knew we were gonna get. I mean, it was still cool to watch, and that pride of being part of N7, you know, was definitely swelling inside me when, you know, it showed the guy walking forward and you see the N7 on him. Mm-hmm. But we knew that's what it was gonna be. In fact, you know, actually...
I mean, not really. They said this is like so many centuries later after the events of Mass Effect 3.
Right. This
is
actually, now that I remember, like, think back to this is what I told Chris. What that video gave me a sense of was more of an open world feel, and I don't know if I want that from my Mass Effect. Like it made me feel like, hey, look, here's, you know, Assassin's Creed, but Mass Effect. And I don't think I want that. I don't think I want to be running around in one just giant open world, climbing over rocks and down into craters. You know, Mass Effect had more of a cinematic element to it, and it was very linear, but it still was
you could still
amazing.
choose your exploration.
There's nothing wrong with the game being linear if it's built properly.
Right. And so I don't know. It's still gonna be a great game. Don't get me wrong, but I felt underwhelmed with this presentation. That's all.
I mean, I'm willing to bet that the game is not as far into development as they're leading us to think.
No, probably not. Probably not.
So
I am so excited for this next bit of news. Star Wars Battlefront gameplay trailer.
That's a big deal.
Dude,
that's a big deal.
My jaw hit the floor during that trailer.
Well,
I have never been so blown away.
So what was the thing? What was the thing about Battlefront before this? That people were nervous because it wasn't the same development studio that had done the first two Battlefronts, right?
Exactly.
Was that Treyarch that had done those, or was that someone else?
It was.
I don't know why Treyarch is the one that comes to mind, but that is the one that's popping up right now.
It was a different one. I don't remember who did the original one, to be honest. But yes, it was a new one. People are very concerned whether or not they would be able to deliver in much the same ways that the first two games were, because they were great. They were a ton of fun. But they've gone about it the right way. They've worked so closely with Disney and the people behind Star Wars and everything. They're working in tandem with the new movie that's coming out. Like one of the levels you're going to be able to do will not go live until the movie comes out, because it's going to be one of the battles that takes place in the movie.
Oh, that's an interesting. Okay,
that's cool.
So it'll be about 1 month after the game launches. That battle, it'll be included for free with the game, but it won't go live until the movie launches, because it would spoil what happens in that.
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
It's
I'm into
really
it.
cool.
That's a cool
but that
idea.
gameplay footage, it looked like a modern Battlefront. It looked great.
That is actually a really awesome concept. And the show that I mentioned earlier on Sci-Fi, Defiance, that launched with, like, in tandem, there's an MMO called Defiance. They built the two to go with each other, right?
Right.
But apparently the game takes place like centuries before the show does. So
Really?
that kind of turned me off to it, because I was like, if I can play the game and get another sense or like a different perspective of this universe that I'm loving on TV, that'd be really cool.
Actually, I think the reason that they did that was because things that happened in the game and through the community of the game were supposed to have a narrative impact on the show. So people who would make a name for themselves on the game, right, like,
might get mentioned in the show.
would be mentioned as like a legendary warrior on the show.
That would be really cool.
And they would have like tie-ins like that. Now, I don't know if any of that actually came to fruition,
right?
But that was at least when it was being developed and being pitched. Because I used to pay. I'm pretty sure that NCSoft developed that one, and I used to pay pretty close attention to what they were doing. When they were developing things, like a lot of their other MMOs.
It's a really cool,
and that was one of the things
like that.
Yeah. No, I think that would be really cool. If they could find a way to pull it off effectively and really gave people who were playing a sense that like, this is actually happening. I don't I don't know that ever happened, and if it did, nobody ever really talked about it. So, a cool idea that never really.
That's because it sounded really, really awesome, but then when it came down to the characters talking about the legendary warrior Poop Soccer 87, they're like, maybe not.
No. But if anyone out there is a fan of the Star Wars at all, you've got to check out this trailer. The only thing that was a bummer about it is they didn't show space combat, which bummed me out. I wanted to see what they were going to do for space combat, because I'm assuming they're going to have it.
So they confirmed space combat?
They haven't even, but there hasn't been a Battlefront game that didn't have it, so I would be shocked if they didn't.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But
Star Wars. None of this war takes place in the stars.
But the whole trailer was one battle on the ground, and it was almost all live gameplay footage, and it looked incredible. Cool. So
okay, yeah. I mean, I know at the end, at the end, at the end of the trailer, you got to like Darth Vader was sitting there and
Vadering out.
Yeah. So it does. It seems really cool, and a lot of people are super hyped about it. So
never mind. Apparently, it was confirmed that space combat's not happening. Heartbroken. Don't care. Still looks amazing.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst is a gorgeous. I can't read from here. What does the rest of that say?
Gorgeous open world parkour simulator.
Sweet. I actually bought Mirror's Edge during the Steam sale, so I'll get around to playing that at some point.
Yeah, I have it too. I'm excited. I mean, I want to play it too.
Yeah,
but it's one of those games that I think you can get really bad like dizziness and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it fucks with your equilibrium a little bit.
Interesting.
Why do we play that on a Morpheus or something?
I remember.
Oh God, can you imagine doing parkour in like virtual reality?
Yes, I can, and someone's gonna fall over.
That sounds terrible. Yeah, that sounds like you're still gonna be breaking ankles. It sounds like
You have to get yourself in like a safety harness rigged up to your ceiling.
Got to sign a contract saying you'll not sue by playing this game.
Buying the game is like your agreement that if I fuck myself while playing this game.
I'm willing to bet there'll be some kind of disclaimer like this may
absolutely.
make you feel woozy. You cannot sue us.
Oh, definitely.
I believe if you were a dev for the Oculus Rift, you already had to agree to something of that nature.
Well, I think I mean it's probably going to be either when you agree to it or it'll be a warning at the beginning of every time you boot it up. Like there is liability there for injury, but if you're going to put something out like that out, you cover your bases by having all of that legalese and warnings and
because there are definitely going to be assholes out there who try to sue you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, there'll definitely be assholes who are going to, like, put their fucking Oculus Rift on and be like, I'm going to play on top of the house today. And then, like, they end up, like,
it's
walking
going to be parents buy it for their kids, then their kids break their ankles, and then it's the whole, I'm a parent, I shouldn't be held responsible for what my kids do, video games are bad, era all over again.
That's true. Yeah, now video games are really hurting our kids. They're physically hurting our kids.
Yeah, don't you wish it was the 2000s now? When the only thing you had to worry about was Grand Theft Auto? Fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The Nintendo 3DS does have a warning for the
most
3D,
things
how
do.
that might hurt your eyes.
Most things do. Most things do.
Here come the really big announcements.
Oh,
We're gonna spend
yeah.
a lot of time on these.
Yeah.
FIFA 16.
Actually, no, it's cool. They include female teams. I do want to point out that
Nice.
the
Is
female
that something they've
not
US
done yet?
team,
No.
Did you know the female FIFA World Cup is going on right now?
Yep.
By
Nope.
the way,
Yep.
and
No.
the U.S. team kicks butt.
But and it has nothing to do with gender. I give fuck all about soccer.
Yeah.
So.
No,
It's super cool that they're including the female teams.
it is
I think
cool.
that's a big
It
deal.
is a good call.
I-
but at the end of it, it's
I
soccer.
guess the reason that I don't feel it's a big deal is I'm surprised like that's not just a normal thing.
No, it's never been a normal thing.
Yeah, I would have just assumed that they were already in it.
Nope.
And Madden 16. Trailer's up. Cool.
Care less about that.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
gives a
good.
shit.
Madden!
Nobody here is going to care.
Yeah.
Nobody here
Cool
is
story.
gonna care.
And that's E3.
And that's
sports games are going to be like the one thing where people are always like, guys, when do you have your sports game episode?
Never.
fucking never.
If
That'll
that's
never
what you're
happen.
hoping for, find another show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've got a pretty good spread amongst video game knowledge, nerd culture knowledge here.
Nika, does Senpai play sports games?
No.
Ah, damn.
I'll
He
admit.
plays about the same as I do, maybe with some more.
I'll
action.
admit. I have played some of the recent Madden games.
I've played Mega Man Soccer on the Super Nintendo. That's pretty
Wait,
fun.
no, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. That counts as
yeah,
sports,
sports
right?
games.
All right, we
Mar-
play sports
Mario
games.
Golf. Mario Golf and
I
tennis.
played the Wii Sports.
Yeah, so, all right. Yeah,
All right,
Wii
We had a
Sports
Wii,
is
bowl-
great.
we had a Wii bowling tournament Extra Life one year.
Yeah, we play. We
Oh,
play
yeah,
sports
dude,
games.
that
We got it
was
covered.
awesome.
We got it covered.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Yep.
I
Oh my god,
the best
virtual
we can
reality
do.
blitzball would be the coolest thing ever. Yes. Please. I will play a sports blitzball game if it's virtual reality. Gimme.
That'd be sweet.
and
if you
You have
lose,
to- you
it
have
floods
to-
your helmet with water
Yeah,
and
you
you
have to
drown.
play in a fishbowl on your head filled with
No.
water.
Hold your breath the whole time.
played Tecmo Super Bowl once.
Mario Kart counts too, right? Because racing.
Once.
That one time.
That one time, yeah.
Well, that's it for E3.
That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much all of the big announcements out at E3 and how we feel each of the presentations went, and I think that's going to cover it for our very first episode here. I feel like we've set the tone, we've set the groundwork, and we've got some we've got the bare bones here, and it was really cool. I'm really glad that we were able to do this pilot live. There was some question whether we wanted to do the pilot live or if
When we
wanted
were
to do the
sitting
show.
out there earlier, Kali's like, so when did we make the decision that we were doing this live?
Yeah, because I remember when we first talking about it, we were talking about doing this one as a pre-recorded just for
working
like
out
the
the
Patreon
kinks.
people. So we had the kinks recorded, and then we'd go live. So I got here today, and we're talking about going live, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
I can't wait
this
till
is
we
the-
go live.
this is the shit that's
It's gonna be sweet. Okay.
I guess we made that. I think what it was is
Did
we
it
had
live.
We said it on the show, and then at that point,
we were locked
we had
in.
said it. We had said it on Limit Break Radio, and at that point, we had committed to it.
Yeah.
So we had to follow through, which is good because it gave us a deadline for coming up with shit like the overlay and the intro. And
I'm actually
the really
working
good tagline.
we're working on a tagline as the intro.
I'm also working on a. Oh, actually, you can see him. He's down in the corner.
Yeah,
that little dude. Actually, right there, he looks like some type of little Satan with like a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like a big long tail or something.
Yeah, that's a very rough version of what our mascot's going to be.
yeah.
So why don't you explain to everyone what the mascot is?
All right, he doesn't have a name,
Right.
but
It's
essentially he. All right, it's Locke.
That's
That is
bad.
Locke, the boss battle key. The final encounter, since I guess we didn't really talk about our name, is in reference to the fact that most games have a final encounter, the last boss, right?
Right.
So our little logo and mascot is going to be Locke, the boss key. And the little part that looks like his tail or his pitchfork is actually the key part of him. I literally did like a rough sketch and sent it to an ear, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna use that." I'm like,
yeah, he's not
okay.
even connected.
Yep. All right. I'm like, that's like the key part of him, right? He's like, yep, that's fine. I'm like, okay. So yeah, he will undergo.
But I mean, he looks fine. He looks fine down there.
Looks cool
He looks
right
good.
there. Yeah,
I
but
mean, yeah, it's hard to tell what he is at this point.
yeah, he's gonna go through a lot of work, and you'll probably see him evolve over the next couple weeks. But that's what he is.
Now, Nate, unlike a show called Limit Break Radio, we didn't take any callers this week.
We didn't. No.
Might that be changing in future episodes?
It is something that's going to change. So, because of all of the wonderful technology that you see surrounding us, and which our fan base over at Patreon has wonderfully been able to provide us with and outfit us with, we will be taking live calls on the air. So, unlike other shows that are a bunch of talking heads giving you their opinions about something, you can actually call in and direct the conversation and give some of your own opinions. Now, we haven't finalized exactly how that's going to happen with other shows, and in the past we've used Skype, but we're also looking into some other programs to be able to manage that load a little bit better. So if you're looking for a show where you want to get really interactive, you don't just want to send them tweets, you don't just want to send them email, you want to be able to call up and interact with us as hosts, well, we're going to be able to do that, and you can look forward to that in future episodes of Final Encounter Cast. So another thing that we should mention is how often we're going to be doing this show. Right now, we're going to be doing this monthly, like once every month.
Yep.
We do Limit Break Radio every single Sunday here on this channel, twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. And if you're at all curious about Final Fantasy XIV, we hope that you'll join us and check that show out. And but we're also going to be doing this new show, but we're not going to be doing it every single week. This show just went for 3 hours, and and so we want to be able to space that out.
To be able to figure out exactly what this show is going to be in the long run.
Exactly. But there is a way that if you really do like this, if you really do like the show, there is a way that you can make it happen more often. You can make it weekly. We do have a stretch goal at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Limit Break Radio, if you're at all interested in supporting the show. And the closer we get to that, once we hit that mark, we'll be able to make this show each and every single week. So if you like what we do, we think the show's pretty unique in the fact that we're not industry insiders, we're not pros, we are pros at like broadcasting, podcasting, those kinds of things. We've been doing that for a long time, but we don't have that insider status. We don't have that in the bubble perspective that you get with other shows that larger shows that have been working inside of the industry for years and years and years. We're a bit of outsiders looking in, and so if you want a show that has that kind of perspective and doesn't constantly beat you over the head with the latest interview with some indie developer who nobody gives a fuck about, and you want someone, you want a show that's going to discuss relevant current topics in the Final Fantasy in the video game. I'm so used to saying Final Fantasy.
It's hard not to, isn't it?
In the video game community, then I think that this is going to be the show for you. So hit follow, come back, check us out.
We promised you this. no one is paying us for our opinions.
Exactly, yeah. And you know, and
we are not sponsored by any video game companies.
And we probably won't be either.
No.
You know, like we have a
dick jokes.
We intend for them to hate us.
As people, as a show, as an organization, we definitely side on the edge. We tend to skew towards the edgier side of things. You know, if there's another show that has an obvious, you know, joke that's sitting right in front of them and it might be offensive, they don't always go for that. We're just going to go for it because we got nothing to lose. We don't give a shit. You know, we're going to just let it all fucking hang out. Like, you know, like when we had spent a lot of time talking about what we wanted the show to be and exactly how we wanted to put it, you know, like out there in terms of like aesthetic and presentation and all of this. All of that was given a whole lot of thought. And look, at the end of the day, dude, we're the punk rock video game Twitch cast. Like, if you think of like the old school punk rock scene, this was dudes who were frustrated by the music industry, who made something themselves. They said, we're going to do it ourselves and put it out there. And even if it sucks, even if people, you know, if some people don't like it, other people are going to like it.
So we're Fallout Boy?
No, that's not punk rock.
You scumbag,
idiot. That was a troll. I'm gonna go back to blocking you with my mic stand, dickweed. But I mean, you know, when it comes to influence for the show, for as much as things like G4 influence us in the way that we present, or game trailers or IGN, I think we're equally drawing influences from you know, places like comedians, like, you know, like all of us are big fans of like Hannibal Buress and you know, fucking Patton Oswalt and you know, Louis C.K. I'm only coming up with his rap name, Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. All of us are huge fans, huge comedy nerds. We're all big fans of comedy. We're all huge fans of shows like the Howard Stern Show or Opie and Anthony Show, and we're going to be drawing more influences from those types of shows than we would other types of video game shows. So if that's the kind of stuff that you like, and you can roll with the punches and you can roll with some maybe at times offensive stuff, then I guess, you know what, this is going to be the show for you. All the time. It's true. It's all the time.
I like to think of us as the Always Sunny cast.
Well, you know, think about it. Think about how many shows come out that are basically just four people yelling at each other.
A bunch of dudes, a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, exactly. So you know,
we're a bunch of dicks.
We're going much after much
and Nika.
Yeah.
Wait till you get Nika in her elitist mode. She's a bunch of dicks too.
Oh, please.
If someone's not good enough at The Witcher and they're like, please
make it easier.
Make
it easier.
It's too hard. It's too hard. But yeah, this is the kind of show that we're putting out there for you. You know, much more influenced by people like Henry Rollins and Kathleen Hanna than necessarily, you know, fucking G4 and IGN. So if you think that sounds like something you want to listen to, because again, I keep hearing all of this bullshit about ethics in game journalism, and game journalism needs to change, and all of this other shit. Well, look, here's an independent source for you guys. We're an absolutely independent source. Nobody's paying us for our opinions. Nobody's giving us games to play. That's for fuck sure. So, you know what? If you want independent thought in your games media, this is something that you should support. So I think that's going to wrap it up here for us on Final Encountercast. Our next episode is probably going to be it's going to be in like 4 weeks. I'm going to say Sunday, July the 26th. That's our tentative date that's set for the next episode of Final Encountercast. And if you have any feedback for us, we just set this up. If you have any feedback for us, please send a email over to finalencountercast@gmail.com. We have purchased a .com for Final Encounter. It's going to be finalencountercast.com.
Oh, cool.
There's nothing there yet. The first episode will come out on Limit Break Radio, and we'll put up a very simple redirect at finalencountercast.com that will point to where the episodes are posted. So make sure that you're checking that out, bookmark that, come back and visit it often. So that's going to be it for Final Encountercast. Thank you guys for checking out our premiere episode. And how do you guys think it went? I think this went really well.
It went really sweaty for me.
Yeah, like coming into this episode, it was just like for the first time in quite a while, a little bit nervous. Don't know how it's going to go.
I thought nervous. Awesome. I was very nervous. I was very nervous.
They think I look like Edward Norton. It was a good experience for me.
You're the only one who stormed out of the room in anger.
Yeah.
I saw someone say I got to see him leave on 3 different monitors. It was awesome.
We hope that you'll come back and join us for future episodes of Final Encountercast. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in for our premiere episode. We'll catch you guys next time.